Welcome, Moon Bunny VTuber, Jury. Hello everyone. Today we're gonna be running through some slides in the chat. Man, wait, I don't have my glasses. I didn't prepare for that. Apologize for the wait. We're gonna do a quick introduction before we head into the main meat of the stream. It's gonna be a little bit different just because I haven't done these sort of PowerPoint presentation style kind of streams in a long while. But I just felt like doing one just because I don't have a lot of people to yap about this kind of thing. I'm someone who actually enjoys helping out with smaller creators and kind of getting their footing a little bit. I'm the type of person to kind of browse a little bit on Reddit and sometimes the Discord and answer a few questions here and there for newcomers. And so, because I haven't done it in a while, I just thought, okay, well, you know, I'm just gonna put together some information in the slide. The information in the slide is not gonna be your typical kind of information you will find about how to create content, just a heads up. This is more going to be a bit of like my personal experience with it, and also topics that I don't think I see a lot of people cover when it comes to VTubing and content creation. So I want to kind of get that in here. Oh yeah. Let me look at what's in here. Give me a bit here too. It was a bit, it took a long while because I was helping out HaanArt with his new watch and he doesn't know I'm a VTuber, so that's why I'm a little bit late. But I'd rather keep the ability to stream a secret for now. Alright, let me look home in here. Hello Copper at GXI, welcome. Lukey, welcome. Aaliyah, hello. Coca, hello. Adonis, welcome. Oh, Shobium, hello. Nishoku, welcome, good morning. Yaps, hello. Achuni, hello. Sespa, welcome. Jesse, didn't drop by to say rah, rah, rah. I can't do it. Hola, Dele. Hola, Lethargic. Howdy, homie. Kamori, welcome. Hello. Renan, meow meow. I'm here to take notes. Why'd you greet like that? Is that like your new greeting now? Oh my god. Let's see. Does Mr. Han think you're talking to imaginary friends when you're streaming? I don't know what Mr. Han thinks. He's on his own phone and stuff. He doesn't really come to my room that often. And I actually got kind of mad at him because I told him that I was gonna shop for watches with him this week. But he just went and bought like a Fitbit right away. And personally, I don't like Fitbits between Fitbit, Apple Watches, and Samsung watches. So I was a little bit mad at him today. So I was very passive aggressive in helping him with his watch stuff because I feel disrespected like that. But that's not for you to know. HaanArt, he's just really impatient. When he wants something, he wants it right away. He got that adult money. But I prefer to kind of break down the watch's price tag and what each one offers, right? So that's just how I personally approach things when it comes to shopping. And it's like, listen to me, Papa. Don't be a consumer. Don't just because the guy at Best Buy tells you this is best watch, don't buy it. You know. So it was a little bit of that, and then you know his watch finally got set up. He'll soon find out that he has to pay like $80 subscription just to download his heart rate stuff from Fitbit. But that's for future Jury to worry about after the stream. The double life. Mama Han knows. Papa Han, I'd rather keep him dark because he's very critical of things that don't generate revenue like that. Ugh, sorry. Hello Kevin Johnson, comment, hello, evening, good afternoon, VO7. Is vocal ticket picked up? If I'm here ready to learn. Okay. You got this. Needs budgeting class? Does he need budgeting class if he has adulting money? I'm still like technically a student now that I went back to uni. So I'm kind of like a little bit different from him. Health subscription? I believe with the Fitbit you have to pay $80 a year after you purchase the watch. I even told him about that and he's like, why? I already paid it one time. Why do I have to buy more money? They don't have my credit card. I was like, okay, sure. It's just I don't think it's necessary to buy a subscription, but for his thing with his like heart tracking and thing, I think you have to pay that fee just so you can like export it and like save it and stuff. So I don't know, I have to look more into it, but that's what I got from my cursory glance at the watch. I told him to wait. It's a little hard because as I get older and my parents get older too, I'm the type to be on top of things and at least do my research when it comes to buying pricey tech. Because not every tech is treated the same, nor do they have the same features. And I don't know, sometimes my parents kind of jump the gun and they'll buy stuff ahead of me, and I just be like, okay, well, that's fine. I told you to get this because it has this X, Y, and Z. Missed the no subscription area. It's crazy, but yeah, everything has subscription now. Even the car has subscription too. Oh man. Okay, that's enough of me though. I do have a PowerPoint ready. Now, I do want to preface, I don't think this is gonna be our usual 2.5 hour time slot. So if you're here for the... I'll make sure to timestamp the length of the PowerPoint, because I think that I don't have enough to cover like the usual time slot we do. So I'll do that for the VOD at least. But yeah, I will cover that. Just want to say hi, Juju. I won't be able to say, hey, no worries, no worries. Don't ever apologize, you guys, if you can't make it or you're late or something. I find that so interesting. You know, it's just like a Discord call. You hop in whenever you can. Never ever like feel bad if you miss something. Plug, surprise box, subscription. It's not a subscription. I only bought it one time, okay? It was just a one-time ordeal. It was just a free test. Kind of. Not free. You know what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna set up this presentation. It's gonna be a little goofy cause okay, well, this is fine. We'll start here. Without further ado, this is my very basic PowerPoint. I kind of whipped up within 2 hours. I apologize. That's all the free time I have literally in these past few days. Oh wait, so this is the second slide. So let me guys show you the first slide because it doesn't show until I click on it. Hi, Blue. It's nice to see you return PowerPoints and tips. I do like presenting tips and stuff, but do know that this is my personal experience. But here it is. Here it is. Hi, Loopy. Welcome, welcome. Oh no, the animation didn't play. Hold on. Will it play if I just do this? Okay, well, I have a cool thing that started off with this, but let me try like doing it again then. Alright, give me a second. I'm gonna just shrink this down. You might see some tabs, but it's okay. So I think I spent a lot on the animation. I made sure this time to set all the information to the left side of the presentation, but that's okay. Hold on. I'm just quickly do that. Was it this one? There you go. There you go. Miss Boom Bunny's VTubing crash course. I started, if you don't know who I am, I started VTubing on YouTube in 2023. But actually, I technically have 5 years of streaming experience, so I'm a bit of an old head around these parts. But either way, I feel that the tips that are on this slide is going to be a bit atypical to what you'll see in VTubing. This is not a slide that'll tell you how to make good content. This will not be a slide to tell you where to post or how many to post, how often. It's not going to be anything like that. This is more so going to be concentrated on you as a creator. And I know that a lot of chat right now are mostly viewers, but if you guys ever want to break into content creation, know that you have my support and my DMs are always open for any questions. Because I personally think it's a fun endeavor to break into, and you know, it's another avenue of creativity in my opinion. If you have something to share to the world, you know, don't ever be afraid to make a video or short on it. Because I think you guys have individual voices that can be reached to other people with unique opportunities to sell that to other people too. Alright, that is where we'll start with. Hello guys, welcome. But before I start into the main topic of the stream, I just want to say, quite honestly, take everything with a heaping helping of salt. I'm not even a pinch of salt or a grain of salt, they say. Take it with a little lot of salt. Some of it comes down to things that I have in terms skill-wise, and some of it comes down to luck, which I really hate to say because I feel that sort of misrepresents a lot of the work I put in. And you also need a degree of self-critical thinking, being able to have an honest feedback conversation with yourself when it comes to your own stuff, you know? And so, just to preface, Again, I'm not Corpo, as you can tell. I'm not Corpo. I am just a 7K indie who is trucking along in this sphere, and this slide is basically a accumulation of what I've learned in the past few years. Hey, plastic bag. Ohayo, Ohayo-kun. I'm actually making mental notes. yeah. I will say though that maybe this presentation might be a little out there when it comes to the topic of you as a creator in VTubing or content creation. So do keep an open mind for things that I'm about to say, because a lot of it is kind of curtailed more so to my experience, but I feel like it could be applied to other people's experience too. So with that in mind, we'll start on to the next thing. This is my channel. If you don't know who I am, have you not seen anything from my channel, this is what I have to show for. Not a lot of videos, because a lot of my quote-unquote videos as counted by YouTube is actually in my live playlist. If you're on YouTube, you kind of have to choose 2 to 3 methods that you can do in terms of content. So either video, shorts, and live. And for me, most of my focus right now is on live and short, but the occasional videos on there. But when I do make videos, I do make them go viral. That's not an accident, because I personally have a sort of instinct for what makes a good video and what people are looking for. So that's why I feel like I have some credibility in all this. But also, you know, again, take it with a grain of salt. You're all in good hands with the Moon Bunny. Yeah. But honestly, in my past, even though I have made VTuber tutorials, I have gained a lot of subscribers and views through it, they were not very satisfying to me. Personally, for me, what I find satisfying is finding something that is unique to me and unique to my interests. And that happens to be Gunpla. So for a good time, I might have done YouTube tutorials, and actually a fair amount of people know me from those. But to be honest, nothing is more fulfilling, to me at least, than meeting meaningful people, connections over a common interest. When I was doing tutorial videos for other VTubers and other creators, I personally didn't find it fulfilling. Despite getting in like the view counts and the subscribers, it was just not what I wanted long term. So just know that when you're a creator, a lot of your goals shouldn't be contingent on being the biggest, getting the amount of views, like having this virility to it. There is a lot of pros to having this slow growth, being able to slowly build a community, slowly build yourself. Because the moment you start having so many eyes on you, you're gonna start to crumble. You're gonna feel like, damn, I didn't get a chance to practice and fine-tune this and that. And so there's a pro and con to everything you do when it comes to content creation. Hey, welcome Full Sword. You gotta do what you like to do. Also, welcome Wholesale. Yeah, and you know, in my personal opinion, no niche is too small. However, when it comes to a niche, you do have to find ways to like appeal to that niche in a way that does not compromise your identity, you know. And personally, from what I've seen, a lot of new creators, let's say they do Honkai Star Rail content, for example, they may do Honkai Star Rail content and it's based on the guide because they've seen other people do Honkai Star Rail guides. But in doing so, you kind of not really rehashing what's already been done, right? You gotta have sort of a personal spin on it, and that's going to be difficult to really tell you what that exactly is. That's just something you have to sort of be cognizant of as you grow more and more as a creator throughout your time streaming, making videos, and all that stuff. I learned your channel thanks to sharing interesting Gundam, so I agree. Yeah. Honestly, even though I may have a lot of those view counts from my tutorial videos, and they're actually what I'm really strong with, they don't really translate into long-term viewers. And also, you're gonna have different audiences depending on your niche. With the tutorial education niche, people are there more so for information as opposed to you as a creator. And so if you're okay with that sort of balance, then you can go for it. But for me, I felt like I am more fulfilled as a creator once I have more of the type of people that come from me, and that allows me a bit more wiggle room to do other things as well. It's just how it is. That idiot's guide to YouTube. I wouldn't say that. YouTube is hard if you want to turn into something. Not everyone kind of has that sort of feel. Is this a course to become a VTuber? Whoa! Whoa! あやくんの英語が isn't it kind of good? いいですね。Yeah, a VTuber? Not really. I wouldn't say it's a VTuber guide. It's a VTuber course. More so a content creator course. That's what I think of it. Hi Cherise, welcome, and Depths welcomed as well. It's crazy how language also affects any niche. And yeah, it's actually a layer you kind of have to deal with too, because not just you yaps, but I've seen some creators who are bilingual and they're not sure if they should appeal to native speakers or they should appeal to more global audience with English speakers. And unfortunately, I don't have an answer for that, nor do I have experience with it. But I do know a creator, her name is Capo Mio. You've seen her around here and there. She's a Italian English content creator, and she does content in both. Her main stuff is in English, but she'll occasionally dip into Italian and collab with Italian VTubers, and I think it's fun. Even though I may not understand exactly, I feel like I'm part of a experience, and that's what a lot of people look for. Honestly, passion will take you further. Yeah, you know, I think passion is a very vague word sometimes. People are like, okay, I'm passionate about this, now what? You know, it's hard to really capture it in the bottle and then make sure that it's able to transmit itself to other people and have that understood. But I think it'll happen naturally. It'll happen naturally. Alright. Now, when it comes to content creation... Oh wait, the chat's kind of blocking a little bit. Let me move it up with some more. It starts with you. Now, the reason why I say this is because it's very easy to come into this with a lack of self-confidence, imposter syndrome. Am I good enough? How can I be a big VTuber if I'm a social anxiety-ridden introvert? How can I break out of the shell? How can I do this and that? You kind of have to... Sorry, I didn't mean to mic. You kind of have to look inwards a little bit. It's gonna get cheesy. It's gonna get cheesy. Hi Joe Bob, welcome. Jonathan, hi. How many kits? I've built not a lot, like 15 maybe, and that's it. But we're gonna save the Gunpla talk for a little later. And I actually have like a Gunpla checkpoint so we can talk about there. Mimi Mango, you? Mayhaps it starts with you as well. But yes, when you are, whether you're a VTuber or content creator, I really dislike separating VTubers and content creators because they're one and the same. You know, VTubers are just people who are making content with an avatar. You are competing in the same sphere as people like Markiplier and PewDiePie and Ludwig and Toast, except you just do it digitally. And I feel like people need to realize that these people are also playing a similar game to you and making content that people enjoy and want to watch from them specifically. So don't ever separate yourself from flesh tubers. I really hate the term flesh tubers, but that is the term that people have come to use in agreement to non-VTubers. Hi Plucktube, welcome. Welcome. Hakishini, hi. Can I start with someone else? Hey! That's weird. I mean, I guess you could take someone and be like, alright, now you be VTuber while I manage you. That's possible. Good morning, Sunny. Hello. And so... Oh, maybe the word flesh tuber is more of a Twitter thing. Maybe that's why. But just you keep that in mind. You might hear it in the future or something. What I mean by this is that... Here, we'll start here first. I know, I did talk about VTubers and flesh tuber, but now we're bringing in like a real person. You know who this is? You've probably seen her around. Maybe you have not seen her. She was a celebrity beyond our time. But she's very relevant to this PowerPoint and what we want to talk about. And yeah, see, we have someone here. It's Monroe. This is Marilyn Monroe. But her real name is not Marilyn Monroe. It's actually Norma Jean. Actually, her name is much longer than that, but this is the most common name people shorten it to. But she is a regular woman who happens to be very famous through the work that she does. But in doing so, she did not use her real name. She used what's called a alter ego. And a lot of what I'm going to say is based on the book I forgot the author's name, but it's based on the book The Alter Ego Effect. And I think that this is important to bring up because I think that for a lot of VTubers that are much later in their career, the bigger VTubers that we know and love, they kind of figured it out for themselves naturally, but I feel like this is something we should probably bring up and kind of bring to the forefront of people's mind when they think about what kind of creator they want to be and what to present as. Monroe! Man, I like her. I respect her a lot as a fellow woman. Marilyn Monroe VTuber. Yeah. Actually, let me move the slide a little bit down because I do see like the... maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Look, you're gonna see the line at the bottom. That's how long the PowerPoint is, which is not very long, by the way. Now, there's a very interesting line when it comes to... a very interesting story, I should say, when it comes to Marilyn Monroe. And this is taken from... I believe it's a personal, like, a photographer's wife or something. But I'll just read it because I can't remember top of my head, because that's how my brain works. This is from Amy Green, the wife of Marilyn's personal photographer, Milton Green. And there's a story that basically said, "I'll never forget the day Marilyn and I were walking around New York City, just having a stroll on a nice day. She loved New York because no one bothered her there like they did in Hollywood. She could put on her plain Jane clothes and no one would notice her. She loved that. So, as we're walking down Broadway, she turns to me and says, 'Do you want to see me become her?' I didn't know what she meant, but I just said yes. And then I saw it." I don't know how to explain what she did because it's very subtle, but she turned something on within herself that's almost like magic. And suddenly, cars were slowing and people were turning their heads and stopping to stare. They were recognizing that this was Marilyn Monroe, as if she pulled off a mask or something, even though a second ago nobody knows her, and had never seen anything like this before. And so, this is basically what a VTuber is gonna be for you. For actually, even for people who are facecam streamers or facecam content creators, when you get in front of camera, you basically embody a version of yourself that's already there, but maybe lays dormant. And so we're gonna talk about that a little bit. I like the story a lot because I feel like that kind of emphasizes more so of what being a creator can be. And actually, I'm gonna bring up not just her, but also other creators and explain some things with them as well. We have some other famous people. You're probably thinking, "Oh, Jerry is cringe. Why do you have like people in flesh here?" And it's because even though they're famous, you're probably just a regular Joe. These people are just like us. I know it's hard to believe, but they were once people like us at some point, right? And they weren't always these perfect celebrities, performers, or whatever, or these original thinkers. Yeah, it's like Mirna said, right? It's just about finding a persona, right? And so we're starting with Freddie Mercury. You know, he has a really neat story in that people who know him on stage and off stage felt like there were two different people. You know, on stage he was this really bombastic performer that commanded the crowd's attention. He didn't just attract attention, he commanded the attention of the crowd. And when he was off stage, he was this sort of shy, sort of quiet, soft-spoken kind of person on his no longer in sort of the costume. And so we also have Steve Jobs. If you guys know Steve Jobs, he's the founder of Apple. And for him, you know, his thing is that he admires and values the teaching of Gandhi. You know, he's sort of his role model. And in order to invoke that sort of role model for himself, he wears the circular glasses. Just like Gandhi does, he wears circular glasses as well. And so, we also have, what's it? Beyonce. You know, her stage name for a time was Sasha Fierce. She's also someone who has a little bit of stage anxiety, but when she embodies that sort of person, she's no longer afraid of this sort of audience and sort of is afraid of these judgment and stuff because she is Sasha Fierce. And for her, it helps to kind of separate sometimes, instead of maybe using your real name in that case, having this sort of separate persona can help bring in the sort of qualities you might look for in a creator for yourself. Really liking this presentation. Yeah, thank you. So that's why Char has so much aura. Why does Char have so much aura? I wonder. There should be a case study on it too. Sorry for the slight pause. Hey Virtuoso, welcome. We're all regular Joes. You know, I also talked about that with Mama Han a long time ago. And actually I have a funny story, I'll explain a little bit later. But last person on here is Muhammad Ali. He has... Every time he goes into a ring, he sort of has a mantra that he chants to himself. I am the greatest. And he would go on to win championships like nobody business. But he himself is some VTuber. He can be. Reminds me a lot of kayfabe in wrestling. Yeah, I think wrestling might be the strongest in terms of kayfabe, but there's a degree of I don't really know if kayfabing is the word to use for celebrities and stuff, but these to some extent may have it as well. I just imagine like wearing a different mask. And yeah, that's how you think about it. Even though the mask changed, the person's still the same, right? And what I'm talking about when it comes to this presentation, it's not about pretending who you're not, you know? We are basically unlocking a part of you that exists beneath the fear and doubt. You are a confident person. You are the type of person to be charismatic, to be a well-spoken presenter. You are the type of person that is smart, that is hardworking, that's doing all this stuff. But, you know, it's laying dormant within you. And sometimes you need that sort of outside person to embody it. Sometimes our self-confidence in ourselves currently is not exactly the strongest, but so having this sort of alter ego, this other side of us, helps become the kind of creator that we want to be, maybe even when we're not necessarily feeling it too. Fuumoko and wrestlers are the king of key faves. I bet Fuumoko have like their own off switch when they have the VTuber model and then off without the VTuber model. I am God. Okay, settle down now. God, a God complex. Okay, I see how it is. I see how it is. Oh, I guess it worked because you have a loyal follower in the chat now, aren't you? There's one thing I wanted to say. Oh well, I think oh yeah, I remember now. No, Koka mentioned that we're regular Joes compared to them, and it's true. But I remember having this exact conversation with Mama Han when I first started VTubing, content creation, whatever. You know, I told her, man, you know, all these people are kind of famous. And she said to me, oh, you know, Sylvester Stallone, because, you know, she loves his movie and his sort of like aura and action film. She told me, oh, you know, Sylvester became famous and was able to buy back his dog. And he was a regular person just like us. And that's something you kind of have to remember. Through some of society's nepotism and everything, there are regular people like us who can, quote unquote, make it to some extent. And honestly, when it comes to making it, I'm putting that in air quotes right now, making it, it's not as nearly big in terms of recognition. Like, you probably think you need to have 100,000 people know you to make it, so to speak. But I'm someone who only has 7,000 subscribers, and I feel like I wouldn't say I make it, but I'm definitely kind of known to extent in the community, whether that be the building community or the VTubing community. And I find that so fascinating. You just don't need nearly as much as you think to be known in the sphere. Wait, give me a sec. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. My voice is giving out. So you are who you are, basically. Yeah. I kind of for me, I kind of have this certain struggle when I'm streaming. I am, you know, I am me. I am Jueri. When I'm off stream in VC with you guys, I'm like, do I wear the Jueri mask or am I just myself? But both of them are me. It's just like if I want to emphasize certain part of myself to you guys off stream or on stream, that's just how it is. Excuse me, there's just gonna be a freaking pause just because I'm like coughing a little bit. Apologies. It also reminds me of Clark Kenting, but I guess in reverse. Clark Kenting in reverse. They're both Clark Kent, you know? I don't think he ever thinks of himself as not Clark Kent to extent when he's Superman. They're just emphasize a bit more in the Superman part when he's not in his normal form. Hydrate, please. Thank you. Even smaller creators can have huge impact. See Best Friend Play / Castle Superbeat. Yeah, I actually think that we're living in the best timeline for YouTube. There's some debate about whether or not old YouTube was better, or maybe new YouTube currently is not as great. But you know, back in the day, I felt like our viewing habits were homogenized, but nowadays it feels like I have my own micro niche celebrity that I follow, and you guys have your own micro niche celebrity you follow too. And so, in my personal opinion, now is a good time to be a creator of sorts. Doesn't have to be a lot either. You ever get like episode imposter syndrome? Absolutely. Okay. I've been in indie for so long that I'm getting to a point where companies talk to me and I'm just thinking I don't deserve this opportunity. But you know, I have to kind of push through. I have to push through and push those doubt away when I talk to them in regards to myself. But I'm also someone who's very honest as well. So apologies. I will work on my alter ego. But I'll explain some more about my own quote-unquote alter ego that I put on for stream. But just kind of embarrassing to say, because I only ever wrote it down on a notepad on my phone, never shown to anyone. But I guess we'll see a little bit on stream. You're building up your channel to keep on going strong. Yeah, I will. I'm sorry in advance on what I'm about to say, Jerry, but I feel like the real world is more of a story now, where some people are destined to be protag, others are destined background characters and villains. I'm kind of I have a different viewpoint in that I feel like anyone can be their own main character in their own story. There's a million stories happening over each other, and that's just how it is. I don't think there's like those kind of archetypes in each other. I don't think of it like that because it's never really black and white. It's more of a gray zone where everyone has their own story. So self-confident. You should watch some of my older stream that has like 20 views. Those streams were very humbling, but I was very starstruck. I was thinking, okay, I am someone with 10,000 subscribers. I am with 100 viewers. Those were some of the thoughts I had in my early streams, and you can kind of see and kind of admire that sort of persistence. Well, in that case though, I remember one time I had a 6-hour unpacking stream, because that's like a game that every VTuber plays. And I remember towards the end of the 6 hours, Haan's coworker, you know, because she's my #1 fan, she's always chilling me out to other people. She's like, oh, you know, my coworker told me he watched your stream 6 hours streaming stuff, and he's really impressed that you still kept going on and talking and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. That was when I was still, you know, like 200 subscribers, still learning how to be a VTuber and stuff. So, obviously, that's not going to be everyone's sort of motivation and drive. I just have a little bit of a different motivation and drive because I can persist into the headspace of someone who is a bigger creator when I'm small. Like, I'm delusional, but I also know that it'll just take time for me to get there in a way that I know that every step and choice I make will be improvement towards that goal. That's how I think about it. Honestly, I think what helps with developing persona is to think of what would make you feel more confident. For me, it's becoming more outgoing, extroverted, flamboyant, if you will. You're powerful. I'm not an extrovert by any means, but I pretend to be a little bit. And some people have mistakenly marked me as an extrovert. Not that I feel like it, but we will see. We'll see. Need more summoning courts at Control Altar. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I am Sid Hayden. I'm just a regular background character. Sure, you can be background characters, but even background characters have fans clamoring for more stories with them, right? Don't think of it like that. Sometimes people like supporting roles and stuff, and sometimes people don't want to be put in spotlight. But every now and then, people can't help but be fans of these background characters. They're just important to the whole story, if not their own story too. Being delusional is based. That's not. I'm not advocating that. Because I wouldn't want someone to be stuck at like 5 viewers for like 2 years and still be delusional. That's just a recipe for burnout. Because I personally know I'm someone who has a very like growth oriented mindset as opposed to stagnant mindset, and that's sort of the mindset you should try to work towards as well. Not just in content creation, but also in life. It will help you a lot. Trust me on that. What helps you push through nerves and doubt when you first started creating content? I'm gonna be honest, plastic bag. It may not seem like it now, but the first time I started stream in 2020, you know, I was anxiety ridden. It was hard for me to press the start streaming button on Twitch because I felt like I was performing on stage, and this is very difficult for someone like me who never went to perform on stage or do something like that. And I was actually so nervous for about 6 months with streaming. I know, it's crazy, right? Oh. But in my opinion, starting something new, getting new experiences, these are the key to a fulfilling life. You know, personally for me, I didn't want to go to off-kai because I was thinking, I gotta save money, I think it's okay, I don't need to go. But pushing myself to go, buying a ticket, forcing myself to go, it unlocked new experiences, new friendship, and just overall a discovery of myself as a person. And I think that when you're in your comfort zone, don't you ever get bored of it? Maybe it is comfortable, but every now and then for me, I want to try something new. And if I burn myself by trying it, at least I know that this is what the end result of it is. Just try something new. Try it. The worst that will ever happen, try something new, never really exists. Because I say that because I'm someone who thinks of 50 scenarios of ways it can go wrong, and I would say 100% of the time it never comes out to be as bad as those imagined scenarios. But I understand that with anxiety, you tend to picture all those sort of pathways, but not necessarily want to do it because of those imagined scenarios too. I'm not calling you out. I'm not calling you out at all. Getting the extrovert energy is hard. Not gonna lie, I still pass out. I pass out at their stream because that's my social battery for today. But when I'm streaming, I am Jueri. I am an important person. I am bringing value to people. I'm bringing a fun time. So that's what keeps me going. I never really complain when I'm streaming. I like streaming a lot, and I'll stream for as long as I feel comfortable, and also respectful for time as well too. You're very optimistic, Jueri. I've heard that a lot, and it's because I tried the opposite before, being pessimistic. But there's a period in COVID when I had time to self-reflect, and for me, I realized that why am I being pessimistic? You know, these pessimistic thoughts do save me, myself, from trying new things, from experiencing the worst. But at the same time, when I do take that chance, I'm uncovering new things as well too. And so that's why I encourage you guys to try new things. And for a lot of for example, the plastic model builders in my community, some of them are trying out the Gundam trading card game. They're going out to these new stores they've never been to for cardboard, and with that comes a new set of community as well. So I know I'm still plastic brain, even though we're not supposed to talk about it today. That's what I hope when I stream. I hope that when I stream, you guys also follow along with me to a new journey, to new things as well. Yeah. -5 viewers. You'll get it in time, yaps. You will find your strides. When you're starting out, you're probably still finding your footing when it comes to streaming. You'll find it in time, trust me on that. I feel some of the social anxiety goes away when I think about streaming. No one has to see me if I don't turn on the face cam. That's why it should be advantageous. There are actually a fair amount of non-face cam, non-VTubing, just voice creators, and those people can be very charismatic without a camera too. So they do exist. It may be a little bit harder, but when you watch those kind of people, you also want to cheer them on too. Like, oh, you know, they set their goals to one day be confident enough to get a model or to show their face. I will support them in that way. In my experience with social media, I sometimes need to stay away from it, as scrolling can be a distraction. That's what I learned from myself. And yeah, you know, you're gonna get inundated with everything, a lot of things actually, if you get too caught up with social media. So that's why when it comes to content creation, I always encourage you to think about you as yourself first. It's always good to spark a new thing or community. Yeah, if it doesn't have that many people looking into it, that's okay. You know, we always have a baseline for ourselves. That's what I encourage with creators that I talk to. Find a baseline. Find a decently sized baseline you can always fall back to when you try new things. You know, that will never disappear on you. And for me, at least they'll always be building on Saturdays with you guys. When I build on Saturdays, I'm happy I have reached my quote-unquote baseline, because then it gives me the option to try out new things and come back home when I need to hit that baseline again. I honestly feel like the big issue for me is that trying to grow involves trying to advertise myself in some ways, and if it involves social media, it can get very draining. It doesn't have to be, you know? I know that this is a very content creator heavy kind of topic, but know that this doesn't really have to involve showing a lot of people what you're doing or anything like that. It can be like, hey, to a friend and be like, hey, you want to try this new thing with me? Like, it's just small things like that too. Or, oh, you know, I want to try out this new game everyone's been playing. It doesn't have to be such drastic, like, oh, I'm gonna get this new job and be in this new space. It doesn't have to be like that at all. It can be small things as well. Ah! Wait, how long was it muted? Was it okay? Sorry, I coughed. Hi, Reagan. Welcome, welcome. Sorry. I don't know what's the last thing I left off on. 1 minute? No way, it's been 1 minute. Okay, so I'll just say a little bit back. You know, one of the Jerry said that we hold ourselves back and we just become wasted potential, other than regretting about the fact that we did our best. We had a chance to become better right now. And in my opinion, you've always had these things about you, and it's just man, really a minute. You have these good qualities to you. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to bring that out for yourself. And even though there's some concern about having to involve social media in some big way when it comes to growth for yourself and trying to change, don't think of it like that. You can start with small things like getting out of bed and trying out that yellow shirt you think looks ugly on you. You wear it and you're like, hey, you know what? People have complimented it. It's small stuff like that. It doesn't have to be this big grandiose thing too. Oh. Yeah. Don't let low numbers let you down when starting a channel on YouTube. Keep moving forward and I know you'll grow a great channel. And I think a lot that comes with managing expectations, you know? If you're someone who is only streaming, do realize that with the streams you'll get better as a commentator, but maybe in terms of view count and all that, that will be for a different goal. Because once you orientate yourself to that new goal of wanting to be bigger and having more viewers, you would be doing the action related to that, and that involves making videos or shorts as well alongside the streams too. The muting mistake. I thought I was above that. I apologize. Alright, so let me move on to the next slide. This is me, as you can see. This is a bit of a confession I would like to make. Before I became a VTuber, before I started YouTubing and stuff, I had a note on my phone that no one had ever seen, and I listed 5 traits on there. I don't remember what they were because I think I deleted them at one point. Yes, this is biblically accurate jury. I am Rice Cream Princess, as you would call me. You haven't seen my legs, have y'all? Some of you guys have not seen my legs, and it shows. I also have a purse, but I don't really put it on for stream because why would I hold on to my purse? Anyways, that's beside the point. And getting good at low number means you'll probably be insane commentary god when you're huge and famous. I have to say, there's a fair amount of great content creators and great commentators and streamers that I come across on YouTube. It's just a matter of being able to find a way to grow through other means. Because I hate to say it, but on YouTube, they don't reward the streamer nearly as much as something like Twitch because of the way the algo works. And honestly, I don't want you to wrap up your your like worth in how you do as a streamer on YouTube, because when it comes to YouTube and the SEO and the analytics and stuff, that's like a whole nother hat you kind of have to wear when you're a creator. You're not just creating, you're also being a businessman, a marketing person, and all that. So don't feel bad. You're just working on yourself as a creator first, and then you're gonna be working on stuff like SEO search and all that stuff. I'm still learning it too. You have to get that point. Pencil okay, we got movers on. Anyways. This is really embarrassing for me, so I apologize. This is a bit much. Before I became a VTuber, I have in my notepad these terms: funny as heck, magnetic, charismatic, and hardworking. And these are the qualities that I value the most. I probably would have even put kindness in there, because I feel like kindness opens so many doorways for you as a creator if you uphold that for yourself. And I feel like it's kind of embarrassing to put these words attached to myself, because I feel a little bit self-serving saying, yeah, this is what I think of myself, you guys, because you might not think that, but this is what I think of. As you know, you guys, before I stream, I have a phrase that I start off with, right? I say, welcome, money VTuber Jueri, right? And for me, whenever I say that word to myself, I embody these characteristics. I don't know how I'm funny, but I don't know. You guys tell me I'm funny somehow. I'm not very good with being funny on command, but I find that throughout the years, people told me that you're really funny by accident, but I can't recall any jokes to prove it to you that you are funny on accident. And so, I guess it's true. It was not funny that I unmuted myself. Everyone does that. Let's see. I would say of these four, the one quality that I sort of emphasize the most, that I try to think about the most when I am online, also offline too, talking to people, is being magnetic. Okay, I have this image of people can't get enough about what I'm about to say. People can't help but drop everything and listen to what I have to say. They can't help but want to type and speak their mind to me so that I can read it and know what I want to say about it. That is the main one that I sort of think about the most when I am Jueri. When I am Jueri here in front of you guys streaming. And that's it's a little bit embarrassing to admit, because people might think I'm crazy or delulu when I say any of this, but I'm a sort of person that needs stuff to be sort of embodied in a second brain, basically. I'm pretty sure that the way I think of this is kind of different from other people, but the Lulu is a Lulu, as they would say. Funny AF could just be replaced with Mr. Bean on Notepad. I respect Mr. Bean. Okay, I started watching more Mr. Bean stuff when you guys mentioned it to me. I understood why. But this is... Thanks, I need this because I kind of want to be a streamer. Oh, okay. I will say though, for just to preface, I'm someone who's been streaming for a good long while. Like, we're talking like 5 years. I only started switching to YouTube recently within the past 2 years. But being a streamer and being a content creator involves more than what I'm about to show on this stream. This stream is mostly about being the creator that you want to embody. That's what I want to talk about. So we suck some metal to you, they'll stick onto you? Okay, okay. Maybe I should... Yeah, I strive to be a positive ion that attracts a negative ion and then become a magnet too. Whoa! Oh, thank you for the super, Eli-kun. I didn't expect a super today. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. Oh. Can we add like Scumpla to the chart? Because I realized that hobbies can also be a driving force. Yeah, you know... I don't think there's actually really that small niche. I don't think any niche is really that small enough not to be able to grow from it. That's what I think, at least. Yeah, I think I have new type only for super chat and also donors too. I'm a nerd a little bit, just a little bit. Being able to track others can be a nice positive trait, including compelling content. And you're probably wondering, how do you plan to do all of this, Jueri, as a VTuber? And honestly, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Like I said, I have like a bit of a second brain to myself as a creator. There's actually a study that was done in psychology that says that saying you will succeed as opposed to I will succeed is more effective to the brain. Having stuff be said in third person to us is a bit more of an effective way to drive ourselves to be a certain way. And I don't know why it's like that. I completely forgot. It's been a bit since I've read the study, but take my word for it. And in a similar vein, that's why stuff like having alter ego and taking the actual initiative to do that will help drive a lot of your content in a way that's satisfying to you. And don't worry that you're not all this right away. Like, I certainly wasn't all this right away, but it certainly helped me be a bit more comfortable in myself. You know, if someone came in here, saying I was like boring, unfunny, or I'm like a rock or something, I'm like, yeah, sure, and then just mute them. You know, you kind of have to get to this level of self-confidence. To me, self-confidence kind of embodies these traits, and in doing so, I kind of negate any sort of naysayers for these things. That's just the way I think of it. But you know, like again, I personally think if you're a new creator, you're probably gonna spend about 6 months to a year. I know that sounds super long, but in terms of content creation time, if it's absolutely your first time, you're gonna spend a good 6 months to 1 year trying to discover yourself as a creator before you start making content surrounding it. Yeah. Oh, magnetic is I don't know kanji. How do you say that? Oh, you know a lot of English words, Hayao-kun. Yeah, I just like VTubing with people that's also knee-deep in plastic mecha hole that is gonna model kits. There's a fair amount of VTuber builders out there, trust me on that. Especially if you're on Twitch, you'll find them pretty easily. I think on YouTube it's a little bit harder, but it's a pretty common hobby, trust me on this. Thankfully. Wait. Sounds right, because we're social creatures, so hearing that in third person kind of triggers our social instinct, especially in having someone believe in you. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. That's me real cutike. Jueriotica. I am magnetic. I think it's a lot more pleasant when it's not Ramaji. When I say I sound like a robot. Jueriotica. Sunny, thank you for the super. Funny AF, new type noise coming. You could just probably donate 1 cent and you still hear it too. I appreciate it. Yeah. Alright. Thank you for the support. It will go towards a little bit of Gundam TCG. Let's see what else I have here. So here is how you embody this alter ego of yours, and this is outlined in the book The Alter Ego Effect by this author whose name I forgot. I apologize, but if you do want to read more on it, I also have more examples as well. I believe that one of the examples the book talk about, for example, who are you? Wait, what? Thank you for the dono. You anonymize yourself as viewer? I appreciate it though. Oh, thank you for supporting the channel. At first, funny to first don't notice move from Moonbot Life, something like that. Yeah, but you know, I do appreciate it again. It means that the stuff you see is stuff that matters to you, and so that gives me a good nudge to do more of it. So if you read the book The Alter Ego Effect, they talked about Winston Churchill. You know, he's someone who moved politics, and he would, you know, mutter a couple of words himself when he embodies this sort of commanding presence. And Martin Luther King was an example as well. You know, for him, he has perfect eyesight, but he would wear glasses, you know, as sort of this sort of to embody this image of freedom and stuff. And Muhammad Ali will have that "I am the greatest" as his sort of chant before he goes into the field, or into the ring. So first thing first, physically identify key qualities and write them down. I'm so serious right now. If you write it down, it does not exist. Write it down somewhere on a piece of paper, on your phone. You can throw it away if you want to, but at least have it somewhere stored somewhere in your mind as well when you think of the qualities that make a great creator, right? Second one is to embed it into the VTuber model, or even yourself. If you're someone who's a face cam streamer, embed it to yourself. If you're gonna be sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna just pull a name. Joe Bob. If you're gonna be Joe Bob online with your face cam and everything, you're gonna be that Joe Bob version of yourself that's gonna be super charismatic, knowledgeable, super cool, awesome. I don't care how cringe it sounds, just write it down. no matter how cringy or how much you disagree with those sentiments, just write it down. Because you are gonna be those kind of qualities the more you do this kind of thing. And for me at least, right, I sort of, at this point in my sort of career with VTubing, I have separated myself online and separated myself offline. And so I sort of personally have like a mental on and off switch, and people will tell you that they don't have this sort of fake personality. It's not being fake, guys, okay? It's just a exaggeration of a part of you that's already exists. And maybe creators don't really tell you about this, but we kind of do have a sort of streamer persona, right? Oh, we have a lurker man. I didn't know we could do that. There was a clip of was it Saikuno? Do you guys know Saikuno? He's a streamer mostly on Twitch. There was a clip of him going into a voice call, not knowing he was live, and speaking to his friends. And then when he found out he was live, he started speaking in higher pitched voice that you know him for on his stream, and it's stuff like that. It's gonna be a little different, I think. Once you start talking with more and more experienced creator, you'll start to see that sort of on and off switch. All right, I mean, a lot of the creators that I've spoken to so far, and you guys probably seen in chat too, I've spoken to them off stream, and they're, I would say, a near one-to-one, but slightly different. And I think that's just how it is, right? Fake personality. Who said it was fake? Also, Duty, thank you for supporting channel from the Lurking. I didn't know people knew about the Lurker man. That's the presenter voice. Hi, Kyle. Yeah, I guess so. I am very soft-spoken in real life, you guys. You don't understand. Okay. I am very soft-spoken. But when I am Jueri, I am not that soft-spoken. I have mic to my voice, so I should just say whatever is on my mind in that case. After writing down physically some of those qualities, embedding into the VTuber, there's something called a totem in the book. And what a totem is basically this thing you the on and off switch for you. The on switch when you do something, when you wear something, when you say something to yourself. That is the on switch for yourself. And so with that, what is going on? Thank you for the super, Ellie-kun. Thank you. Oh, I have no idea what the currency is. Is it P or D? I can't tell. Apologies. But thank you so much for your support again. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, like I said, you know, Steve Jobs, his thing was his glasses that kind of resembles Gandhi glasses, those circular lens. For Muhammad Ali, it was the "I am the greatest" sort of mantra. I think for some basketball players, sometimes just a uniform. Uniform gives them that sort of athletic prowess. And a very famous example is Kobe Bryant. They call him the Black Mamba. That was sort of his that was his alter ego, the Black Mamba. And with that, it was from watching Kill Bill or something, some sort of like snake, and he wants to embody the sort of ferociousness when he's on the field, on the court. And so as cringe as it sounds, I think this kind of extends itself to VTubing, you know? All these famous people have these sort of alter egos with them, but because they've been in the shoe for so long, there's no real way to physically identify it to people who may just be watching or just looking in. So that's what this stream is about. For what? For F1 driver is the helmet? Yeah, I think uniform is like one of the easy way to kind of embody the role of for this sort of thing. Some 14 hearing this. Be yourself, but without the bad aspect of yourself. Listen, we all have those sort of quote-unquote bad aspects, but they're not even bad by any means. It's just maybe the sort of timidness that comes with it. It may not be ideal for something that's more front-facing. There are qualities to you that I don't think there is really any like bad, like negative aspect of them. If they listen to someone with my name, then they've already lost. You're right. The sports analogy reminded me about Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. He had a Super Bowl loss picture as a phone wallpaper as a reminder. Damn, personally, I would not do that. I'd be putting my wallpaper as me myself winning. I just could not. But I guess if that motivates him, then sure, he can do that. Like being short. Well, I never. You saw my qualities for myself. I never said I was gonna be tall in any of those qualities. Unfortunately, that's why we are the way we are. Okay, it's gonna be fun trying to become big with a name like Sunny, because by God, discover a few people with the same name in the content creation sphere. Absolutely. But that's okay. There's gonna be a Sunny for League of Legends, a Sunny for Gundam. You'll be fine. There's gonna be a way to distinguish yourself. Not everything has to be original either. Where's the... Oh, I'm in my chat. So this is how you get your alter ego. Even... Okay, actually no, I'll go to the next slide. Let me explain everything. Do VTubers do this? After listening to this stream for about an hour, you're probably wondering, is Jueri crazy? Do VTubers actually do this? And the answer is a very astounding yes. VTubers do this, but they may not realize it themselves. And sometimes a lot of VTubers are in this sort of field for so long that they kind of blend or sort of blur the lines between themselves and themselves on stream. But you probably should just read the disclaimer, you know, I'm just a weirdo. I'm a weirdo who thinks like this, and more than likely you will figure this out pretty naturally. But if you want to kind of figure this out now, this is what I would say about everything. If you're probably thinking, if you're someone who's a small creator right now or have not even created, and you're thinking, you know, I've been streaming for 6 months now, it's so cringe if I suddenly became a different person on stream. So you're literally a VTuber, you're already cringe to some people. When I actually early on in my VTubing career, I didn't do a signature greeting that people would have, but I tried out some really cringe greeting until eventually landed on the welcome moon bunny VTuber Jueri with the little tone that I always do. And now it's pretty natural. If I don't greet myself the way I do, for those of you guys who were here in the beginning, you could think, wow, something's really off today with Jueri. She didn't greet herself. It's a part of branding, and a lot of branding is psychological. Having a certain greeting and opening and closing sort of signature line, I think it's just a psychological way to condition people to your brand. Like, this is your VTuber that is you're watching. Man, I'm cringe and I'm free. I'm okay with that. She was past tense. Wait, what? As a musician, I had similar thing when I would perform. I had separate music folder I only used when performing instead of my ratty old music folder. Hey fan, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah. I don't have a separation like that, for so to speak. I don't think I do, at least for myself. Wait, give me a second here. I am speaking so fast that I am getting air in my stomach. Yeah, it's true though. VTubers, you're a VTuber, you're already cringe. Just be free. I've been to Offkai. I see some things that people might dub cringe, but I think it's cool. I think it's fun and stuff. And when you find those people that can also think the same way as you, you'll also have fun too. Hi Raiders, welcome. apologize for the VOD viewers who may be watching this like, oh my god, she's rating. Now she's off topic. And you're right. It's okay though. Familiar raid. Hi, hi. Welcome, welcome. Hi, couple. Nice stream today. I'm surprised it was an Uma stream. It was actually a Shadowburst stream too. Isaac, welcome. Kind of registered vegetarian raid. Oh, hello, welcome, welcome. Kodak Biru, welcome. Christian Bruno, welcome as well. Annie, hi. Welcome, welcome. I'm a local Moon Bunny VTuber, Jueri. Hi guys, if you don't know who I am mostly a Gunpla content creator, but every now and then we do variety. And today is a variety day, so I am doing a presentation on being a creator. Why'd you comment to this slide? I put him in here. I put Bugs Bunny in here because I wanted to make note of like, oh, you know, wearing a suit gives you a superpower that sort of correlates to the alter ego effect. But that's what we're doing. Yeah, long time no see. Hello, hello. Do you have a good stream? I gotta skedaddle to sleep. Good night. Good night, good night. Someone lured me here? Wait, who's the someone? That's Jueri. What the heck? No. Actually, yeah, we'll say this is my dad on screen right now. If you're here for the first time, since this stream started, I basically have talked about the alter ego effect. So use some famous people example, and sort of giving people the confidence to be a weirdo on the internet. That is basically my goal. Listen, it's either yes or it's either yesent, and I didn't really like yesent because I didn't feel like it roll off the tongue. But yes, like no yes kind of thing fits better. That's what I think. Let her relax, you know. Let Mio relax. If she wants to, like go offline and like maybe play a little bit more Uma with me while she's in bed, that's okay. I won't judge her. But if she's gonna sleep, let her relax too. Yes, that's very close to what an inkling boy might say. What do you mean? What's that mean? I don't know what it means. But yeah. Now we gotta move on from here. I think I'm almost done. Maybe I will fill the time slot because we have a lot. Oh yeah, we got. Oh wow, we got Gundam break. Oh okay, so we're here. If you guys are wondering why my presentation is high quality, it's because some time ago I was nerding out on Canva, and I was thinking of ways to make it look better. So I was just fiddling with some things, and I was like, okay, you know what, this looks nice, so I'll just do that. Annie, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you, thank you. Ugh, coincident. What's happening? It seems like there's a meeting. Oh yeah, actually, since you guys rated, I should have just showed up this screen. I forgot this was the exact next screen after. We're just in the middle of presenting, and now we're on the slight plastic break. Macroplastic. Yeah, I like that. Macroplastic. So yeah, if you have never seen my stuff, if you have been on any other stream, this is gonna get super nerdy because that's what the stream is about. I've been building for a year and a half now, and been getting slowly into the Gundam TCG that's happening as well. That's happening this week actually, so I'll be out there tomorrow in the field. I'd like to yap and bring laughs, and you are very capable of doing that too. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Let me see. Okay, I think we're done on this break. I just had this here just in case there was gonna be some sort of Gundam chat before we head into the next topic. In terms of how this stream was breaking up into, I didn't have time to do like a 3-section, 4 to 5 section kind of presentation. I think I spent 2 hours on this already, just grabbing stuff, so I apologize. I would have done a longer stream and more planned out if I wasn't such on a tight time constraint. Not gonna lie, the Demi Trainer goes incredibly hard. Thank you. It's using the Flame Kaide backdrop. Oh, and I'm blocking it right now, actually. That's so sad. Doors on Compa is Plamo. You are right. Neither is this third-party kit behind me. The Barbados. A conversion kit. Alright. You're all Gundam out. My bad. It's only a break. And also, I just want to flex a couple of the builds. Because you know what? I realized that it's only 7 months to a year. I've only built like 4 kits. I'm so behind on my kit stuff. So, I gotta get on it. Anyways. I don't know if true, but I hear Mega Man is Gundam. That's not true. Mega Man, maybe, you know, he's having a mech. He's more of a like android cyborg thing, right? There's probably a more definitive distinction between those two. I just know what it is though. MGSE looks awesome though. It doesn't have stickers, but it does look good, doesn't it? Sure, you should try and find, despite being rare, the Valve Rave Unit V1 Hyasobi. It's purple, which fits you. Okay, that's actually the first time I read about the name. Oh, hello, welcome, Lyle. Mega Man's an android. There you go. Android. You can get model kits of Mega Man if that's what you want. Very possible, but not a Gundam. Gundam is a whole its own IP, own look to it and everything. I hope you can buy some of them. You can! Oh, thank you! Thank you for the super Helicon. Oh my god, wait. I gotta wait, hold on, let me just double check this. What is happening? It started at 25.50, now it's 125. I do appreciate your support. Make sure you see some for yourself too. Jury made me get into the hobby, then my obsessive personality caused me to go way too deep, but at least I have lots of fun kits to build now. It looks like you're having fun with it, which I'm really grateful for. I am an instigator. I'm grateful for the people. You're not the only person. I'm grateful for the people who clicked into my stream, saw me building, and got really fascinated by the thing I'm building. I'm very happy. People here are very passionate about it and we'll get you into it nicely. No idea what's happening? Hey, don't worry about it. We're in a break right now. Well, I think he's Gundam. Okay, you can think Mega Man's a Gundam, but don't tell people that's your opinion though, or else you'll get jumped. And like, maybe cancelled by Twitter. My goals are twofold. To be famous and to entertain. I was thought to be shameful of wanting to be known, but I don't think that's bad anymore. Heck no! You know, I've heard of friends whose moms go on live, like Instagram live and stuff, or Facebook live. It's a very common sentiment to go live and kind of be known to people you may not know directly. And so I feel like that's a changing stigma, at least in my opinion. You know, Marilyn Monroe, she wanted to be a Hollywood actor, and when people told her that's what all the girls dream of doing, she said to them, but I dream stronger. And so look what she ended up with. Jury, I'm old enough, but can I have these Gundam, right? Of course, as long as you're 8+. A lot of the easy kits are 8+, and then the harder kits are 15+, I believe. You're old enough. Yeah, surely. You're old enough to type in a full sentence. I think you are old enough to build a kit too. Plamo is freedom until you start getting things wrong. Hi Jade, welcome. Hi Arthur, welcome as well. Didn't notice how I rated? It's probably through Capo. Capo came in earlier. Okay, enough of the break. We're gonna get back into the topic. Apologize to the VOD viewers, but that's just what we do here. Alright, now what? So let's say you have your alter ego figured out. You have the vision of what you'll be like, maybe what you'll be like when you're famous and whatnot, and what kind of creator you'll be. Now what? Well, now... Oh, sorry. I don't know why I had dupes in there. I forgot to do the thing. Now, you make receipts. You create. The reason why I say this is because you can't just tweet. Okay, there are retweeters out there. There are people who talk about their dreams but don't act on it, unfortunately. You need to solidify to yourself, to your alter ego, to yourself in general, that I am this way, I am funny, I'm charismatic, and here's proof of that. In order to do that, you gotta make streams, you gotta make content, you gotta create, and that's the bottom line with it. Sometimes this is the harder step. I think the hardest step for a lot of people, maybe even harder than figuring out what kind of creator you're striving to be. And so now success, I'm sorry, there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. Can't just tweet. You cannot just tweet. Even tweeting has its own sort of meta with it, but you can't be a VTuber. I'm sorry. I don't know. There are probably people who are famous through Twitter and only Twitter, but you are a very micro niche celebrity if you stick to that sort of sphere. You gotta expand yourself and go to other spheres and make content on there too. I'm talking making not just videos too. I think that's a very common one, making videos and streams, but also making song covers, gaming videos, arts, comedy, stand-up comedy, a bunch of other things you can do. And if you think of, oh, you know, I'm into this super niche visual novel, make content on it. Talk about your favorite character, talk about where you think the franchise will go with it, what will happen in season 2, do all that. And no matter how small or how niche you think something is not nearly as niche as you think it is. That's the way I'm gonna be telling you this about now. Okay, Emma. Okay, see ya. See ya, see ya. This is getting advanced? This is a lot more streamlined. I could tell you on how to make a good video, but that's like a whole nother stream to break into. Jueri used to remind me of JueriHaan from Street Fighter 5 for some reason. Okay, there's a whole reason why my name is JueriHaan, but it's not because of her. This is a whole series of accident that led to this. Unfortunately. As a wise man once said, don't let your dreams be memes, make it reality. Yeah, that old man said that last part too. A question, is popularity a goal? What if one wants to just stream using VTuber model? Then sure. I think, you know, I have a friend who streams and they don't do schedules or anything like that. They just stream because they enjoy the game. And if one person comes in, talk to them about the game, they're happy about it. This is gonna differ from person to person. But I'm gonna be mainly addressing people who have grander purpose, grandiose goals and stuff. People who are delulu like me, who think about being a 100k subscriber with tons of viewers and followers. This is the main people I want to address. But if you want to be a chill dude who's like playing games in your Twitch stream, that's okay too. That's alright. That's just a different goal. Dinner time, I'll be back. Okay. If you decide to sleep after dinner, that's okay as well. Huh? Why'd you mention that app? Did I say something like that? I don't remember if I did. Will this be on a test? I didn't have time to make a test. I'm sorry. Yeah, no schedule, no Twitter, no social, nothing. Just pure streaming, just like in good old days. You can. Just realize that if you plan to be a large content creator through that kind of goal, it just really can't coincide with each other. Something might happen. Maybe you have that sort of magic to it and can make it happen. You know, like Queso, he's basically that guy you described. He has no schedule. Maybe, I don't know actually. But he basically got viral through Twitter, or through TikTok, my bad. Went viral through TikTok, but he has always been making streams and content. He just happens to have a couple of TikToks go viral and kind of push him to this sort of limelight for himself. And that's just how it's gonna be. Just before I leave, for new viewers, feel free to subscribe to Jueri if you enjoy her content. She streams about stuff like hobbies, games, etc. Feel free to join her Discord if you're interested. Yeah, feel free to join my Discord. It's discord.gg/Jueri. One of my friends started streaming and I recently found out he has his own community and that blows my mind. Whoa! That's so cool! Yeah, no, like, I told my friends about it when I first started streaming and... listen to me on this. When you start out streaming, you can tell your friends and tell your families about it. Well, assuming you know them enough that to not like be those kind of people, but the people that I told, I thought they're gonna be like, saying stuff to me such as, oh, you're not gonna make it, this is delusional of you, this is crazy, why would it be you, why would you do this sort of thing? But every friend and family member I told to about what I want to do when I first started streaming, they've been very, very supportive of it, because honestly, these people don't know you nearly as much as you do, right? As part of it, and because of that, your potential for how far you can go with it is very difficult to exactly pinpoint. So most people who know that for sure are going to be supporting you through this sort of process, because at some point you'll hit a ceiling, and when that time comes, that's when you yourself are going to make a decision to how you're going to overcome it. These people supporting you in your family, in your friend circle, they're gonna support you just because they themselves don't know how far you can go with your drive, with your passion with it. Join now! Join the Discord! Okay, we're back. Okay, no worries. Thank you for dropping out the Discord link. At least I was here for an hour. See y'all later. Have a nice day and have a fun streaming. GG, bye. See ya! Okay. Now, if I started streaming and I could put my skill point to one skill, what do you think that would that be? What do you think that would that be? What was the inspiration for your model avatar? Oh yeah, I can show you. Maybe after stream or something. For me, I just had a mood board full of jackets, and I just happened to have a pink and black jacket by the end of it. I'm Moon Bunny through and through. It may not seem like it, but I am. Yap, Riz, height. Mine or yours? Just in general, one skill point, like one major skill point to put into content creation, dexterity, time management. These are all good to answer. What I'm trying to find, personally for me, what I think makes a great creator is not so much... Well, yapping is kind of in a similar direction, but I would say this. Storytelling. Storytelling. I think being a creator in Spear, you're gonna be a 1 in a million, right? You're just one of many people. But if you can tell a very compelling story and be able to lead people through this journey with you, you're gonna make it. It's a very underrated skill in content creation and VTubing. Now, when it comes to tutorials, maybe you won't really have storytelling be a strong skill set. But in my opinion, when it comes to making gaming videos, for example, people will say that's super saturated, or there's too many people making Valorant videos. What makes great creators in those saturated sphere is having a compelling storyline for people to follow. I'm not talking about watching a gameplay video and figuring out and seeing if whether or not this creator wins or lose. What I'm talking about is something different. Something different with this. Oh wait, sorry. Wait. Okay, well, I'll explain later. It'll be something different. Now the reason why story just compels us so much as human is because of various reasons, and I do apologize that the chat is blocking this and I'm blocking sort of the text too. Even though people say that it's extremely saturated and there's a lot of VTubers, I think that it's the same way for face cam streamers too, and gaming YouTubers as well. But in my opinion, if you can figure out how to make yourself the niche, you are one of a kind. And because of that, it can be kind of hard to really work up to what it is that makes you grow. At least for me, even I'm starting to figure that out too. On me, move the mic a little bit. So the reason why I say storytelling is a very important skill as a creator and kind of what sets you apart. Well, it kind of helps you build that connection with viewers. That sort of when you tell a story and they're listening to it, you guys are on the same wavelength when it comes to going through that journey with you. And you know, it also triggers a lot of emotional feelings for us, and we get that sort of dash of dopamine or oxytocin when we hear a good story or be rewarded to sit through this sort of conversation with people or video or whatever that may be. And in doing so, this helps set you apart from other people by being able to create a unique story, but also it allows you to once you start to realize this, you start to realize within other creators, bigger creators at least, they try to tell a story and they know about this and they're trying to improve on it too with each video. I think a really good example, let's see. A great example of storyteller, in my opinion, is Fauna. The reason I say Fauna is because I watched her. I don't watch any other VTuber dressed in green. But when I was watching Fauna, you know, one of her Minecraft stream fairly early on, she has her opener and everything. She's called Fauna. Then she talks about this dress she was shopping for, and I bet like 90% of her audience is probably male. They don't know what a dresses are like, you know, what it's like shopping for a dress or anything. But when she was telling her story, you know, she was telling her story from her perspective. She's not saying I bought a dress and I wore it and I decided to wash it because there's a stain on it. She would tell a story by using her feelings first and foremost. She would say something like, oh, you know, I saw this dress. I didn't know whether or not it would fit me or look good on me because I thought maybe it might look a little too heavy on me. But I thought that da-da-da-da-da. You see how she sort of incorporate her personal experience, these personal feelings. And with that, even though these 90% of viewers are males who never worn a dress, maybe I don't know, a few of them have, who knows. When it comes to feeling unsure about a certain outfit, that is something that people universally sort of experience, right? Trying to figure out what kind of clothes would look good on them, that's a universal experience. And so in becoming a great content creator, becoming a great storyteller, whether it be for VTubing streams or VTubing videos, you want to have people be with you on this journey. You want to set up the stakes, you don't even have to set up stakes too, you can just tell people about your day. But in telling about your day, you relay to them, not what you do, but how you feel during those moments. Hi Kaiju Kanajo. Oh my god, it's Kaiju Kanajo! Guys! You're looking for more Plamo builders? Kaiju Kanajo is a great one. She's part of the Plamo Princess Club. Oh my god, I'm not even on my Plamo stream. I'm just here giving a presentation today. I should have worn a suit to live it up a little bit. Welcome, Cassie Bats. Hello, hello. What about you don't have a story to tell but want to tell one? Become a VTuber using your flesh den. What about if you don't have a story to tell but want to tell one? I kind of hate to say it, but you might have to keep a notebook. At the beginning of my streaming journey, I actually kept like a detailed notebook about things that happened to me. And it could be minor things sometimes, right? Like for example, recently, let me think. JueriHaan, he got a watch recently. Probably super boring in retrospect. But in that moment, for example, there was a layer to the story in that I told him to buy a different kind of watch because it's a better brand, but he told me that the Best Buy guy told him that this is the best brand for him to get, which is Fitbit. And you know, you're gonna have stories in your life every single day. In my opinion, even for things that you think are very minuscule, like you took a walk, you telling people what you saw on the walk, maybe what you were thinking during that walk, what you were kind of like experiencing in that walk, it can get very interesting. It does not necessarily have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be life-changing, like, oh guys, I'm getting married kind of thing. Yeah, that would be an interesting story. Yes, it would, wouldn't it? But the smaller things, in my opinion, can be just as interesting as those big ones because those are the shared experiences that people have in their day-to-day life, but not necessarily go about it to notice them. And I think that for a lot of VTubers that I watch, at least, they tell about their day-to-day stuff, and they can be pretty small. They can be about the cups they bought being different sizes, but in doing so, we kind of feel and kind of enjoy more of that sort of down-to-earth storytelling. So don't worry about if you feel like you don't have a story but want to tell one. You definitely do have one. Make it up if you have to. Not that I make up stories. Every story I tell you guys on this stream has been true through and through. Okay, but if you're someone creative and you want to like maybe live it up a little bit, sure, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm not too creative enough to kind of make that happen. We need niche VTubers. Where's the financial literacy VTuber? They have financial literacy YouTubers in general. Alright. Not necessarily VTubers, but they could have that. My favorite streamer, Doug, does storytelling amazingly well thanks to his interaction with chat and decision to turn bits into full followed through stories. And yeah, that's actually a really good example of one. How does one get better at storytelling, Jueri-sensei? For me, I'm very internal. I internalize a lot of what I learn. So I would watch people who I think are great creators or great storytellers. I would read some books too. And then, you know, I would practice it on stream. I know I'm a good storyteller when I get the exact reaction I want. You know, when I tell you guys, and then this happened, and then that happened or something, you guys will give me LOL or haha, and then I know I did a good job. It's not always gonna land. I feel like I tell jokes, but no one knows that they're jokes, so they don't laugh about it. I feel a little bit sad, but I move on because there's just gonna be 50 other jokes in the stream. But sometimes the person you have to entertain the most is yourself. That's just how it is. You know, it will happen. Not everything's gonna be gonna land as you start to get better at this skill. But now that you know it's a skill set you can learn, you know, you start to build up on it and start taking notes of your day-to-day life. If you guys know Vin, there's a YouTuber named Vin, and he's someone his main niche is teaching people how to communicate, you know, because he thinks that communication is tied to job promotion, being able to get what you want, and etc. And one thing he talks about is keeping a notebook of things that happen to you per week, per day if you really wanted to. And having those notebook stories, you're able to recall them and tell them at the dinner table or at gatherings or when you were eating with your boss or something. Stuff like that. You kind of have to have some way to record it. I'm not a perfect person when it comes to recalling stories. And honestly, I don't write down a lot of my stories nowadays because I kind of tell you guys what happened the week that happens. But yeah. These people are streaming, these corpos are streaming 5 times a week. They run out stories by month 1, to be honest. So at that point, you're gonna be talking about small things that happen day to day, and those are still just as important. You can't... To quote Big Fish, be the hero story. Yeah! You guys are the hero of your story, whether you feel like it or not. Even if we feel like small specks in the universe. We have shared experiences, and that makes us very human too. You can't control what kind of day you're going to have, but you can control how weird everyone else's day is going to be. Wait, that sounds like a dangerous superpower. Chill out. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. The Comedy Bible is a good book on how to get better at jokes and storytelling. Yeah, maybe I should read it. You know, there's no shame in reading self-help books and how-to books, you guys. Those things are still golden, in my opinion. I used to think that self-help book was only for people who need therapy, but then I read one, I was like, whoa, this person had really cool insights. It was so fun. Oh, and it's really neat. And actually, one of the books I tend to tout on this channel, or not even the membership videos, is the Atomic Habit book. You know, that's a really good one if you want to read about building habits and productivity and stuff. Actually, I've not heard the Comedy Bible. I usually would hear about it. You know, I'm surprised I'm considered the fashion VTuber. I would think the niche would have been more touched. I don't know. Maybe it's not nearly as small as you think it is, though. Like, I consider myself the Gunpla VTuber, and people call me that. And I stream a variety for streams, but my shorts and video and one live stream may say otherwise. But there are people out there who are in your niche, and they're attracting maybe the same audience, maybe different audiences. I've seen some of the Jerrys in this chat, in someone else's chat, and it does happen where you kind of cross reference with other people. I would definitely keep an eye out for more fashion VTubers out there and sort of seeing how they do the thing. Girl, 4 years of doing this and I've already talked about everything about my lore. Sorry. My tongue slipped. Lore. Nah, listen. Even though it's been 4 years of doing this, you can repeat your stories. You're gonna get new people who don't know your story, your lore. You can tell them again, and people will still love hearing the same stories because they're living it for the first time through someone else's eyes. My lore. Lore. My tongue decided to do like a backflip in the middle of that sentence. My bad, y'all. I need to go outside more often to have more stories. Unless you do absolutely nothing, you do have a story even if you're indoors most oftentimes. At least for me, most of my story comes from interacting with my parents. I feel like on the stream, or even with like Tao, for example. Create more lore by committing grand larceny. That would be a fun story, but it doesn't have to be. And oftentimes, when someone says something in a back and forth conversation, I feel like, oh, suddenly I have an idea. I remember this thing that happened back then, you know. And I think that's like a really fun part when it comes to storytelling. It's not just being able to talk with other people, but having the skill to listen And listening is important skills. And you hear it before. It's been compared to ping pong or tennis, having this back and forth. You will have a yapper and a listener, but every now and then you should switch it up. Even as a creator, like who's a streamer. Whenever I tell my side of things, I make sure to receive feedback about what you think about it, and then you guys share your stuff, and I listen to you or read off what you said, and then I do the same, and then, you know, that sort of back and forth. I don't need to tell you how to talk, how to have a conversation. But if you're dry for inspiration, sometimes the best inspiration comes from another person. A principle of yes anding. I don't know about yes and. I usually don't make it that obvious where I say yes and. We got Papa Han lore today. Yes, just a tad bit. Usually he keeps me... We keep it separate. My travel to other countries and conventions are a great story. I tell my friends. Or camping in night with college professors. To this day, it's a bright memory. Oh, that sounds fun. For me, I feel like I tell my stories to you guys most of the time, and it's like, oftentimes not even that grandiose like that. Small things, they matter a lot. Listen to your co-host, never say no. Occasionally, you should ban them if they don't listen to you. That is what I think, at least. So, I wish I could cover more topics, but honestly, you will find a lot of the videos of what I want to say in terms of making a good video, for example. How to grow as a creator is one of those things. But I feel that making bringing alter ego and also storytelling to the forefront of people who are watching this, I think it's such an important skill. It truly is. Can I upload the video to your Discord? Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't know what kind of video that is. Reminiscing VTuber? Sure. When it comes to having conversation, I usually do the solid snake method of repeating the last 3 words a person said as a question so they can elaborate. What does that mean? They can elaborate? I see. If that helps you with conversing with people, then sure, go for it. Go for it. How do you choose what feedback to listen to? I think as a creator, when you're a small creator, it's definitely a lot easier to have the back and forth feedback. Honestly, you just I usually interact with the positive ones. Every now and then I may see like a negative feedback and I'm like, okay, I don't want to interact with it. I just remove them, or we just make joke of it. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I guess in terms of like advice and stuff for content creation, in my opinion, as a creator who's probably new in the space, you can listen to whatever feedback you want. You can disregard some other feedback as well. I personally take as much advice as I can and then take the ones that I think works best for me at this moment. For example, you know, a lot of advice for content creation is making shorts. I've been kind of keeping it at bay, but lately I've been getting to the mood of making them. So you don't have to listen to every feedback, you know, because our journey for content creation is gonna be unique. I'm an artist before this entire VTuber journey, and because of that, I'm able to I have an eye for aesthetic looking things, whether that be making a VTuber model or even PowerPoint presentation. So I have my own strength that I lean into, and maybe someone out there may not be an artist, maybe they're more of a gamer, they have their own strength as well. People will yap if you let them. Yeah, absolutely. People love yapping. People love talking about themselves. I do too. I bet you too as well. Honestly, I want to listen to tell us what you think makes a great video as someone who's gone viral multiple times. Huh? Listen to you tell us what you think? To you. I tell you guys what I think. Oh yeah, actually. One of my most viral shorts as of this moment is actually my opinion about the Kasi Gundam at Dorito Gundam. I haven't made more of those yet because honestly they take a bit of time for me to collect and formulate my thoughts before I make an incorrect assumption about something. So I know what you mean. Listen to Jueri-san say no one else. Listen to more people. Sometimes I say things that have already been said but because it's me, it may reach people a different way that makes sense to them. So be open to that. Elaborate? Where do you ask me to elaborate? Let me see. So there's a VTuber remembers still time streaming 2012 and no one cringe existed. I have to watch it later. I can't watch it live right now. Thank you for sending that to me. Messing with me? Hey, how could you? How could you mess with me? That never happened in my entire life of VTubing. Yeah, you'll get people like this. I think first of all, it's important to listen to yourself and take contemporary standards as suggestion and make a unique experience. Honestly, you could just fudge around and find out. You know, that's a very valid thing. You cannot listen to... Maybe you avoided the advice and you just want to get straight into it. That's also very possible. But that requires a level of self-critical thinking and self-feedback that not many people may have. And even though I said the #1 skill I think VTubers should have is storytelling, I think the next #1 skill is probably being self-critical. And an example I could think of right now is a VTuber that has over 100 videos on Honkai Star Rail guide videos, and it's not really working for them, but they say I am a Honkai Star Rail content creator, so they make videos in that. But honestly, they should just try making other stuff. Maybe not necessarily that game, but try making videos on like Mahjong if they wanted to or something. You gotta try new things, you guys. You can't stay in the same lane. Even though it feels like everything's luck-based, not everything is luck-based. Oftentimes, you just haven't found a way to reach people. You're right, I never mess with you ever. That's right, because you're a mod, so you shouldn't mess with me. Yeah, art and visual are not my strong suit. This is why my first few streams will just be hand cam. I can't draw or design an avatar. Hey, don't worry about it. Over time, start bare bones, and over time you'll build on top of it. If you have something, if you have a tangible concept at the bare bones level, you will in fact have funding for it to make it happen and make it work in the future. Trust me on that. Like, I started bare bones on Twitch, but I had decent level of charisma. Decent level of charisma and speaking ability that people trusted me with their funds to upgrade the channel, so I did. Hi 2S, welcome. Pigeonholing can be issues when wanting to make content, and I'll talk about it later too. I'll be honest guys, listening to advice is hard. There's some things you don't want to listen to because you're trying your best. It hurts so much that something you're working on is so hard, doesn't work. I agree with you, Renan. I've gone through the moments where I spent 4 hours on thumbnail for my very first live stream thumbnail on YouTube. First ever thumbnail. I spent about 3 hours on, and after that, I just had to keep making them, but I kept taking so long on them. It didn't matter because it's just a small part of a bigger picture, right? And you're valid for feeling that way. Stuff will be hard, stuff will be new, and stuff will take a long time before you get good at them. And that's the hard part about this. A lot of people, with the way social media is these days, they want things now and they want things fast, and not many people are reasonable when it comes to what to expect when you're first new into something. Give me a second, I'm gonna take a sip of water. You know, there are advice that are told to me, Brennan. I've listened to advice, and I've also not followed advice too. What people can do is just give to them, and then whatever they do with them afterwards is just in their hands now. And that's okay. You know, I personally had advice that I don't follow, but maybe 6 months down the line, I'm interested in this suddenly, and I just took it. There'll be a time and place for it, and also, not every advice fits every person, right? The stuff that I'm telling you on this stream, I told you guys to take it with a grain of salt because this is a part of my experience. This is what I see when I think about content creation. And that's okay. I know. Advice is basically imparting things that what I experienced that have worked for me. And it may work for you, it may not work for you. And that's okay. We're totally different creators anyways too. So I don't expect you to follow it one-to-one. Getting thumbnails to look good takes less time than you might think once you master the basics of your editing software. Even fancy thumbnail done less than an hour. I think my thumbnails these days take about 15 minutes or less. If I have like a image for or something in mind for it. My advice: do what you want. It doesn't harm others. You're right. That's the basic advice. I wish I came in here earlier so I could chime in more on the topic, but it's my birthday, so my mind was on other things. Yo, happy birthday to Wes! Yeah, you're older. You're pushing 30. Let's go. Woo! Self-diary like this could be useful to both creators and watcher. Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't really keep a diary per se. I keep more like a rambling journal. That every now and then, if I feel so overwhelmed, I just put it on paper and just let it out. Don't remind me, I'm sorry. I had to take a jab because I'm tired of being on the short end of the stick. So for once, I will be on the not short end of the stick. I feel like I can't call myself mid-20s. No, you're late 20s now. Don't call yourself mid-20s, you're late 20s. Alright. Next one. Oh yeah, so I guess that's all I have to say. Well, I just wanted to point out two major things during the entire slide. And that was... number one, how to be more confident as a creator. And number two, one big skill you should really look to improve, which was storytelling. So we got those out the way. Now we're sort of in the last section where it's sort of like quick rapid fire questions about things people may ask about. And yeah. Girl, you're only 1 year older than me, shout out. There's a lot of veracity with that comment. I just did not repeat it in that way. Don't worry to us, I was watching you when I was only in high school, now I'm in 3rd year of college. Oh! Let's chill out, everyone. He has enough hair loss from reading all this. I also think that seeing advice is good. All advice, but then make it into something of yours. In life, I listen to everyone, filter out, better represent, and combine. Yeah, and that's the way I kind of do it too. I kind of internalize a lot of things a bit more on things that are not like very concrete. For example, like view counts and like analytics and stuff. This is more so internal, I feel like. Internal. Yeah. Alright, so rapid fire question that I've had people ask me, and I just thought I should shove it in here because I didn't have time to make a part 3. If I had time to make part 3, it'd probably be about maybe charisma, honestly. On stream and off stream, but I don't know. We shall see. Maybe next time when I have more time. He's already in the Unk Club, I'm sorry to say. I don't know where you got this misconception of about to be Unk. He is Unk. Nah, 34 is so young. We have older than 34. Don't worry about it. You're up there though. You're in my analytics of 31 to 40 people. No, as YouTube would segregate them into. Unk Club since 24. That's crazy. 24-year-old Unk is so young. Well, to be fair, I always thought about... maybe my uncle was... no, he was not. My uncle was in his 30s. Jerry's 50? Yes. I am. 50 in spirit. Alright, let's talk about Corpo Indie. Alright, this may or may not be pertaining to anyone, but for those of you out there, in my opinion, you should not be desperate for Corpo. Seriously, everything that Corpos do, you can do as indie. And in my opinion, you should go Corpo when you get to the point in indie where you feel like, you know what? I've done everything there is. Maybe it's time to kind of get a little bit more support in doing this. Right? So for me, for example, I feel pretty confident as an indie. And once you'll notice for sure, like I'm not desperate to be Corpo at all. But I've seen a lot of people feel desperate for Corpo just because they think that it'll give that sort of leverage, that sort of boost. But I'm inclined to say that nowadays, in this sort of landscape, 99% of VTubers who quote-unquote debut for the first time are people who have made content. People who have successful debuts are people who have already made a history of content beforehand. For example, someone like Gura, she was not a new content creator. She had a history before she was Gura, and so that's something you should think about. It's rare for people to not have a history of making music videos, singing videos, art stuff, cosplay, fan art, all that stuff. People have history. When they debut, it doesn't seem like they have it, but they do have that. If they have something of value to offer you, they'll be the ones coming to you. Literally every single Holy End girl has significant following before Hololive. Nowadays, it's not as crazy big as those girls back then, but it's pretty sizable. I found that so fascinating though. Also, I've been reached out by like small groups before, and honestly, if you're at this point where you were thinking, you know, I never heard of this group before, maybe I want to join, maybe I don't. Make sure you think about what it is that you offer to them and what it is they offer to you. If all they offer to you is a group and that's it, well, sure, you can do that, but you're gonna be building your brand underneath them, and you gotta be thinking whether or not you want to rep that too. Hi, welcome. It's a Kayoko Gimingu? Ah, Kayoko Gaming. I see. Welcome. A lot of Corpo now transition to independent these days. I do want to make this distinction. There is a difference between Corpo, okay? Corpo is a very umbrella term. You would find traditional VTuber companies in there. There is also talent manager, which is different. And there's also like was it? I forgot. It's been a bit. Let me just double check it. Maybe I can find it. It's funny enough because early in the day I just sent that sort of graph here and see if you can find it. VTuber agency is different from talent agency, which is different from VTuber management. There you go. VTuber management is a lot more like single person focus, whereas VTuber management, VTuber agency are more focused as a group basis. So, but yeah, that's just that. So in my opinion, be indie. You know, get used to washing the dishes and mopping the floor. You know, the stuff that you don't think of when you're like working as a chef, for example. That kind of stuff. You gotta go through the ringer a little bit, make some content, and find your confidence that way. Find your confident footing, and at some point you'll get to, I don't want to say a certain size. Honestly, size does not really matter. You know, I think when you get to a certain level of confidence in your content, when you have people go into a chat and say, hey, why aren't you bigger? Or you have people go in chat saying, hey, why aren't you in this group or that group or something? That's when you might have something worthwhile. And maybe you're just not very good at marketing, which is a whole different skill set from being a creator that you may not have. I also see a new emerging class of VTubers, ex-Corpo indies. They already have resources and followers and are on par with Corpo, but with no specific limitation. Examples, Nimi and Saba. I think beginning indies and ex-Corpo indies are two different types. Yes, absolutely. And while that's the case, I just want to say again that those indies you mentioned, they have a history of creating content. And so a lot of people who are beginning, they should also make content too. Don't debut! Don't make your very first content be debut. I'm so sorry. Do not do that. Make content on your interests, on things you like. You can do VTuber typical stuff, but that's... I don't really know too much about it because I don't do that sort of thing. I don't know how to market either. Don't know how to market either. Hololive is frankly a completely different universe. You can't plan the level of exposure. Absolutely. To be honest, I think it's always been my dream to be part of Holo, but as I become more and more indie and deeper into the indie sphere, I realized that like, you know, I feel like maybe I don't really need them per se, but they don't really match my expectation what I want as a VTuber. That's another thing too. You gotta make sure that, yeah, sure, this company is big and all, and they have like a existing fan base, but does the core value of what they look to achieve align with yours? And that maybe no. And I sort of understand that as I push through more and more on the channel, and we get towards 10k as well. Some corps are so small, they basically just a handful of indies with a shared manager. Real. I will say there is a Corpo called Lucid Media. They actually put out a recruitment notice, not an audition, but recruitment for creators to manage. And it's for people who are at least 7k followers either on Twitch or YouTube. And people got mad at them. But I felt like it was fair for them to ask of that, because it's different in that they want to manage already existing people within the sphere, right? I thought about it, but I haven't reached out yet because I'm not sure if it's something for me quite yet. But yeah, it's a changing sphere these days. Get used to indie, being familiar with it, and also realize that you have to get to the mindset of where you are in this fork path, right? Hey, you know, if I get picked up by this Corpo, awesome. If I stay indie, awesome. That's the sort of mindset you should have. Back in the day, you know, I was there once, like everyone else. I thought that being Corpo was make or break it. I never made any videos on YouTube or anything, but I feel like, you know, I want to do it. And so, now I have a bit more of a healthy mindset. I don't mind if I go Corpo or indie, and it goes both ways. I see myself succeeding both ways, even if one of them requires me to fudge around and find out a bit more longer than the other one. Affirm my own face and name, no thanks, Corpo. Yeah, it's gonna be different from person to person. You're very correct, Arthur. Nowadays, because of ex-Corpo news debuting, a lot of people feel there's a creator just randomly blowing up, just feeling sad about yourself. I feel like if that's how you feel, you just take a step back. That's all I'm gonna say. I think you gotta disconnect from that sort of view as a creator, because that's just so unnatural. That's unnatural. I just show up. Okay, show video out here. They tend to go under often, so you have to be cautious with them from a streamer perspective. Absolutely. At the same time, I have received advice from other VTubers and even people who are mingling with VTubers in terms of like managerial spaces and stuff. They had told me that going Corpo is kind of assuming they're good company, is recommended because that sort of sphere is different. It is a different experience compared to indie, right? I mean, once you go out of it and then you start doing your own thing, then yeah, sure, it's good. But like I said, even though I encourage to stay indie until you build that confidence to think about, well, you know, I don't really need Corpo, but it'd be nice to have. And nice to have is what I want to think about. And yeah, go for it. I mark new indies as newbies and ex-Corpo as veterans. Well, what do you think Holo core values are? Well, the main thing, first and foremost, is finding people who can vibe with their current talents. That's one of the things. Another thing is, I don't think it's singing. A lot of people may think that singing and dancing may be a requirement for Hololive, but honestly, it's just finding someone unique enough to stand by themselves. Someone who doesn't overlap with their current talents. They have ways to stand out from the other talents, right? For example, they've had Ina, Sana, and Rara, who are artists, but there are very distinct flavors of artists. Very distinctive personality, right? So there's stuff like that. And Mume too. Mume was also an artist too, and she was a different kind of artist from the others. You will have overlapping interests, but can you make yourself stand out from the others in that way? It gets harder and harder. Guide on how to build a competitor, as I can see. Whoa, who said that? You shouldn't see them as competitors. See them as like a motivator, you know? See what they're doing. I think it's good to cheer for them. I don't like it when people envy or be jealous when something succeeds for someone else. It's just so weird to me. Because the type of audience they're attracting is not going to be the type of audience you're going to be attracting. It's very rare to have that sort of crossover between audiences. You want to manage to understand business? I don't think people make a mistake. Ex-Corpo of size, always super famous to the point where everyone knows who they are. Well, that's the case. Arthur does. It's also kind of true with what Arthur is saying. It does happen, and people do see and say stuff. I feel it's very useful stream, and I will watch the VOD later, but it's almost morning. I gotta go sleep. Go to sleep! It's okay. VOD exists for a reason. VOD exists for a reason. Rora European. Rora's European. I like Mume. Mume's art is fun. It's like come from a place of darkness, so to speak. Honestly, jealousy is normal, but you decide what you do with that. Normally, I try to turn it into friendship and coworker type of deal. Do I think about jealousy at all? No, honestly, I don't get jealous in the VTubing sphere because the audience is so different from streamer to streamer. Sometimes I don't want. It's like eating someone's leftover. You know what I mean? I don't mean it like that. I don't mean like in a bad way or anything. What I'm trying to say is, I can't feel jealousy towards another creator's success simply because we are just too different. I don't think I met another streamer who I thought like, wow, this is like Jueri 2.0. I never felt or thought that, despite maybe sharing the same niche at all. And also, I'm in a weird spot for me where my brain just feels like more of a content creator than VTuber. And people are like, yeah, but you're a VTuber, Jueri. But yeah, I am a VTuber, like, appearance-wise, but I don't really do VTuber things per se. But yo, like Renan said, jealousy is a very normal thing. If you do experience jealousy, just observe it and let it pass. That's all you can do. In a healthy way, please. Pretty please. Alright, next one. Oh man, I didn't put a fancy transition, my bad. Niche or variety? You probably know the answer is niche. Okay, because I'm an example of niche. But hear me on this. You can do variety for streams. Right, you gotta have a baseline of one common, like a community kind of stream. For Fauna, for example, her main thing was Minecraft Saturdays, right? She would be streaming all sorts of things throughout the week, but she'll always have Minecraft Saturdays, and that's where her community congregates. And they may not be into Minecraft, but as a way for her to speak to them in a yapping stream kind of way. So have something like that, and then you can do whatever you want. Eat your cake and have it, basically. I am guilty of this. I don't stream purely gunplay. Although I could think of like 5 different stream topics right now, different ways to show it outside building it, but I just don't. You yourself and every single person on this planet is a multifaceted person. It is so rare to find someone who is all about one thing, right? I'm someone who's into K-pop, for example, but I don't really bring it to the streams because it's just not really the main appeal. You're definitely a VTuber, Jueri. Your creativity choices are very heavily influenced by trends on the side of YouTube. Your creativity choices? Even down to things like your BGM choice and clip art. Literally, the only reason non-GP uses stock libraries is because of VTubers. Yeah, maybe something like that. But the way I see it, though, at least, is like, to me, definition of VTuber are people who tweet about their like other VTubing related like friends or their company or like their song covers or art that they drew of VTubers and stuff. But I don't know, I just build. I just build and I put the word VTuber in my name and then there you go. Find what your niche is and leads to riches. Hank Hill. You could. Okay, so what I want to say about this. I think everyone wants to be Jenna Marble. Everyone wants to be like PewDiePie. Being able to stream whatever, drop videos about whatever, and have people come for you no matter the content. And the reality is that that is possible. However, you kind of do have to build notoriety and get to a point with trying different stuff. I heavily encourage trying different things, you guys. I tried so many things before I landed on Gunpla. You can ask me about it later. But try a lot of things and try a lot of new things. Don't pigeonhole right away. Try many things first and foremost before you decide, okay, this is what I want to do. And the moment you find that sort of quote-unquote niche for yourself, don't think of it in smaller terms. For me personally, when people think of Gunpla niche, I feel like I talked to some friends about this, other creators as well, but Gunpla niche is so versatile. Like I could make like a challenge video, like building it in the dark, for example. I could make a PowerPoint on small kits I don't like. I could try to paint without a guide for the first time, you know, without any instructions on the kit. I could make ASMR clipping these Gundams for videos. It's a very broad thing. Like niches aren't nearly as small. You decide one thing and you can run with it in like 100 different ways. And in my opinion, narrowing yourself down to one thing invokes a greater degree of creativity than if you were to expand yourself to a variety, in my opinion. Yeah, I know. I used Jenna Marble because we were talking about it yesterday, Renan, so I'm gonna steal you from that one. My relevant references. Does anyone remember who Jenna Marble is? I'm sorry. I brought it back because I was talking about it with Renan yesterday. That's all. Hi, Starry. Just someone's stream. Hi there. Hi. Welcome. So I guess the way to go about this, do a lot of stuff, start variety, and then once you find a few things that hits, start niching down. And once you niche down, do a variety within that niche. That makes sense. That's how I would go about it. Gundam Challenge, Fog of War. Then Gunpla leads into the greater Gundam medium. Yeah, you can honestly, with Gundam, you can talk about the animation. You can talk about the plastic model kits. You can talk about the tabletop game or the card game that's happening right now. There's so much you could do with it. Truly. The niche is not nearly as small as you think it is. I used to think it was, you know, when I was on Twitch, when I had only art streams, and now I realize that I was very wrong about it. Did we talk yesterday? I don't remember exactly. We chatted like through text, but that's it. ASMR cutting out the MG Sinanju would be amazing. MG Sinanju? Let's chill out now. We didn't even start the RG yet, let alone the MG. It'd be fun. Even though I build every Saturday, every now and then I try to spice it up with some things. I think I tried building blindfolded, that didn't work. And I tried... That intrigued a lot of people for some reason. I've also done a shopping stream, which was interesting. It was bad influences at the top, stacked on top of the other bad influences. But yeah, you know, start super big. Whatever you find works, start narrowing down within a narrow niche. Start going big again. Inside of it, yeah. MG's actually good, like the RD Trust. Yay. Let's go to RG first. That's what I have. Blindfold anything will always generate some buzz. I play League of Legends blindfolded. Wow, imagine how that's gonna go. Hardest game ever. Ah, good video. I think it's the last one. Oh, no, there's one more slide after this. Quote unquote, what makes a good video? This is such a broad question and it's gonna have a broad answer. But if you're on YouTube... Okay, well, let's start over. If you're on Twitch, it's gonna be different from how you're gonna be playing it on YouTube. On Twitch, you gotta make use of marketing. Well, you gotta raid. You gotta raid people, have people raid you, chat in people's chat, genuinely network with them, genuinely making friends, all that stuff. And your overlay should be like super eye-catching when people glaze over the search for streams, right? On YouTube, you don't want that super eye-catching overlay. They want just the content and you on stream and then maybe chat, and that's it. It's so minimal here. But making a good video involves what we talked about earlier. Good storytelling. Having good storytelling, a thread for people to follow. Even though I say this, I'm still working on it personally, so forgive me. I'm still working on it as well. Good storytelling involves the stuff we mentioned. Good packaging. So pairing good storytelling with good packaging of the video is, my opinion, how you get a good video in general. I can say this because I have videos pop off like nobody's business, and I knew they were gonna pop off too. Not entirely luck on that. On YouTube, do not anticipate the strength of releasing pre-recorded content. Do not stream if you're on YouTube. The site's built for videos and shorts, and that's how people find you. Yes and no. I have actually met some streamers on YouTube who only stream, and they actually pop off really well with it. But they're such a anomaly that I don't think many people can actually follow them and their stuff like that. You guys know Jiri Makoto? She's someone I peek into every now and then, and if you ever see her YouTube tab, it's only streams and maybe 1 or 2 song covers. But most of her following, most of her viewers and stuff are from streams. It's such a rare case that I can't really recommend it to people. But she's able to do it because she has the branding down. She draws all her thumbnails, and she's also a very entertaining entertainer. you know. And doing so, you have to have a good thumbnail and good title. Having those combined with quote unquote the good video, maybe a good stream in that case, will bring you people into your stuff. They pop off even faster if they're making shorts and video. Sure, they could, but that's not what they want to do, right? You found me in my stream? Yeah, I did. I didn't find you through your videos, Renan, at all. I found you through your streams. I agree. Two of my favorite YouTubers, Argenbolt and Thorgy's Arcade, do a great job of telling developer stories for mecha anime and fighting games respectively. Yeah, yeah. I'm a Jueri liker as well. It's also likely to have clips on her another channel that are getting her name out there. Kinda, but I've seen the clips and they're not necessarily the things that I would attribute her growth to. The growth that she has is herself and her branding, and just being able to pick good games with it too. I've been making my own VTuber model for 5 months without tutorial and guide, so I definitely missed 90% of guides and jump straight to the creation. And that's okay. That's fine. All VTubing is doing the creation part. The VTubing that involves the model and stuff is okay. That's like extra, it's like extra nice stuff on top of it. I kind of just felt like you kind of tripped a little bit and like went down some stairs by accident and you plopped in here and find a seat for yourself. That's how it is sometimes. You balled out. A lot of times it can be luck, but that luck can only really succeed if you have the passion to continue it. I should put a slide on luck and skill. I don't know if I have it. I probably don't. Luck only really works if you already have a history of doing something. I think for people who have struck luck in this sphere, from my experience, have always had a good backlog of videos or streams to look back on. It's so rare for people to kind of strike it lucky on their first try, on the very first post or something. Maybe they already have experience previously, or maybe their stuff is just resonate with people. Now, a good video does not necessarily mean a good edited video. Like, you can spend like 50 hours on a video editing it with these cool effects and stuff. I've definitely done that, but it does not necessarily equate to more views. So you gotta have that trade-off for yourself too. So in summary, a good video is good packaging plus good storytelling within that package. Yeah, I kind of find that through my experience talking with other creators, they kind of really forego the thumbnail and title, and I think there's such wasted potential to get people into your stuff if you know how to make it visually appealing to others who are checking in or want to check in the first place. It's rare, but I've seen channel pop off on their first video before. Yeah, it happens. Like I said, that's because the video is already good. Most of the time, the video already has something that appeals to a broad sense of people, and that's okay. They're doing a good job. One thing I will say though that I don't think many people talk about is that I find that YouTube kind of treats video individually. I say that because I see proof of it with my friend. With Blue Horizon, if you ever see his channel, he has video for a Tekken guide on Lily. He has video making a guide, like informative guide on this super niche device, or doing like a April Fool's joke. And each video has varying amounts of views. Some of them has about 100, some of them has like 6,000. And what I find is that you don't have to choose a niche right away. You can kind of just try to find your audience as you build up more backlog and kind of have data on what you think will work for your stuff. So don't be afraid to release a random video on Legos if you've been making videos on Gundam, you know. it's gonna be different when you're a smaller creator trying to figure it out as opposed to a big creator who already figured it out. And so don't be afraid to make a couple of those. Crash course making me crash in a bad way, in a good way. No, it's a crash course because it's so condensed. There's so much nuance in what I'm about to talk about too. Ah, okay, that's the last slide. We actually made it. Oh my god, I thought 30 slides was not enough to fill a 2.5 hour stream, but I actually kind of made it. Yeah. Also, shout out to Clownman18. They made this GIF and also the Plamo eating GIF too, where it does an earlier slide. Oh my god. so hot in here. Alright, feel free to drop any questions or any topics you want to open up for the stream, and we can talk about it here, but also you guys involved too. It's just a one-way street here. Moon Bunny can yap. You guys give me a little bit of stuff to say too. Otsuzuri, thank you. Is my deep voice coming now? Is that why you tell me to drink water? Actually, it's pretty fun. Good job. Thank you. Sometimes I feel as though I kind of go in circles instead when I could have gone straight. People kind of wrangle me back with some questions to make sure I'm on topic too. I didn't realize there's a theme and a trait before the creation of VTuber. Personally, I do live 2D. Ah, okay. Honestly, when it comes to VTuber model, it is not as simple as drawing a model and making a move. There's a very involved process at the character design stage. And that is a different skill set from being able to draw. Like, I can draw, but I can't really design characters, so I actually have someone outside of that helping me with design. Don't drink, we like the deep bunny. Okay, now the class is adjourned. I must run. Have a good rest of the stream. See ya, Brandon. Bye. I'm not interested in content creation, but it's pretty insightful presentation. Yeah, I'm glad so. I know that doesn't... I always worry about making this sort of stream because I know that a lot of my viewers aren't really VTubers or content creators in general. But I think it's fun to yap about something I'm passionate about. Like I said, I tend to... Sometimes in my free time, I like to browse like certain subreddits and discourse to answer newbie questions because it's very simple. Like I said, just create content and it will leave you more prepared when something does pop up. Luck favors the prepared in mind. Absolutely. My second video popped off on this channel very slowly. Okay, I think it took about like 40... Well, my first video took about 40 days to hit 1,000 because YouTube wasn't sure what I was doing. But my second video, it took a bit, but it definitely reached spears that I have not even seen myself. It's gotten to a point where I talk to people and then I show them my channel and they say, "Oh, I've seen your stuff. I tried making VTuber model. I know who you are." And I'm like, whoa. I'm just a small YouTuber on the corner of the internet. That's all I am. Ah! Thank you so much for your presentation. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, no worries. Even though this is like creator heavy, I do realize that stuff like alter ego and also storytelling, I think they're also pretty important qualities to have in day-to-day life. You know, being able to connect with people and having that sort of shared connection lead to other things as well. Thank you. Character design is such an important part of entertainment and really feels, but it's also pretty hard to get design down without feeling like it's off somehow once you're done. I could show you, I think. Maybe not here though, because I have to pull out different stuff. Ugh. This is an informative session, thank you. Yeah, no worries. No worries. I use alter ego work when speaking to customers because they are always right. Alter ego, man. Did you make your avatar? Yeah, I did. I did the art and rigging. It was a long time coming because I was learning a lot of it on the fly as well. But it's very doable. I've been drawing like 10 years up to the point I've made a VTuber, so I'm very casual artist. I'm not as sweaty as I was before. It's performance PowerPoint really helpful. Yeah, no worries. Also, for anyone who has questions, maybe not comfortable asking about it in the chat, feel free to also ask about it in Discord or even DM me it. I like talking about VTubing and content creation in general. Jerry Lauscher. Hello. Hello, welcome, Ayuk. Sorry, I butchered it on purpose. I know how to say it. Don't worry. Can I ask about how you chose to switch to VTubing with Gundam 2 years ago when you were doing something else for the other 3? So you have jumped between Twitch and YouTube too. If you already come about it somewhere else, I'll check there. Yeah, I can reiterate it too. What I missed? You missed a lot. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Okay. So I started on Twitch in 2020, and from 2020 to about 2023, I was purely an art streamer. I only did art streams, and my goal was different back then. I was using stream as means to keep myself on track and also maybe, hopefully, pop off. But at some point, I felt the weight of being pigeonholed on stream and not really getting my name out there. So I decided that YouTube was a better alternative. So after some time, I switched to VTubing because I wanted variety. And with variety comes a lot of choices, and I kind of struggled within the first year, I would say, first year and a half. But in those first year and a half, I tried every game, tried every content. I tried like event streams, game show streams, and games outside of game streams. I tried to do something different. But each of those, I started to narrow down what I like and don't like. And that's something that's very important to you as a creator. You have to figure out what it is that you like or don't like, and in doing so you have to do and try a lot of things too. And at one point I did Gundam, and I really liked it. The issue was that I didn't have a Gundam audience, and because of that, I also wasn't monetized too. I was very hesitant about continuing it, but there was good feedback and really receptive audience. And at some point I realized, like, okay, you know what? It's gotten to a point where I was able to build a Gunpla specific audience, and that took about a year or two into my VTubing career on YouTube. And people started supporting my content. They see that it was something worth supporting, and so they would send me kits or they would send me monetary funds to help fund that continually throughout the year. And at some point it was awkward for me because I was focused on making tutorials for teaching VTubers how to VTube, right? That was my thing that's happening on the video side. My short was just stream highlights, which is about everything, and my stream, my live stream was variety plus Gundam once a week. At some point, this variety of things I'm doing was a bit too much, and it felt kind of disrespectful a little bit to people who were there for the VTuber content and people who were there for Gunpla. So at some point I said, okay, I'll switch over to Gundam completely. So that covers my video, my short, and my one live stream a week. So that's how I decided my niche. And honestly, I would grow a lot faster if I did more VTuber tutorials, because I feel like I have so much to say and I can do it in a way that's very visually entertaining, I feel like, for people. However, in terms of building core audience off of those people, I could not do it. People love to have the information and they would leave, you know. And there's actually a content creator that I've seen on YouTube who does VTuber tutorials and have live stream related to VTuber tutorials as well. Those people work because you can build core audience off of that. But if I wanted to play games or something, they wouldn't come for that. So in my opinion, building that sort of core audience off of one thing, you kind of have to try many things to find it. I hope that, I know it's sort of lengthy, but honestly, a part of it, being a VTuber and finding a niche for yourself, is a journey and a half. Some people can figure out what they want to do right off the bat. I'm not one of those people. I'm someone who has 50 different interests, and I gotta find which one I want to lean into. Also, I did design my VTuber logo, but I think it was too basic. Logo is not too important. Not too important at all. Go back to Roots Story, go back to Lego Batman. Bro, I love the Lego Batman. At the size I currently am right now, I recognize what my baseline is. I think recognizing what your baseline is very important for niching. Because when I do live stream for build streams, those hit about 50 to 70 viewers. Outside that, about 30 viewers if I'm doing something really out there, super niche, like Shadowverse. That's where I'm like, okay, you know, I think that's really deserving of what I do. Because I built so much of it on Plamo, it's sort of expected that I might not get nearly as much viewers if I'm doing something else outside of it. And so I balanced that for myself. Gundams to go. Gundam, it's something I didn't know. Here's the thing, you don't even have to know everything there is about the hobby. I went into it blind, but people love when you have passion to learn. I think that's very important. In this Gundam niche, people have been making videos with like for over 10 years. You start videos from newest to oldest, oldest to newest, for people who've been around for a long time, they have some super old videos that I can't compete with. So my main appeal when I do Gundam specifically is appealing to people who is new. You know, people want to see and live through that journey with you to find out like, oh my gosh, she knows that a mobile suit is not a Gundam. A Gundam is a mobile suit, but not the other way. You know, stuff like that sort of spark of discovery is something that people are patient to look for. So don't feel like you may already know your niche. Maybe you haven't discovered it yet. Maybe it's out there and you're just starting out in the sphere and you just haven't tried it yet. So who knows? Who knows? Oh, slightly moving niches haven't been too nice on me. Honestly, Yabs, I'm not too sure. I have to see your channel. If you want like a more detailed breakdown of what you can do, you can ask me about it. I definitely moved niche. Like I tried out Sonic a little bit. We all know how that went. I tried out Elden Ring. Was not really much a Souls-like streamer. And I think those were the main ones. I tried out some other stuff, but you know, it's not gonna get right. Would you say a dedicated niche audience better than a bigger general audience starting out versus a year or two in? Ooh, that's a good question. I would say a niche audience is gonna do better than a general audience. And I'll tell you why. It's because most of my YouTube earnings is not through AdSense from the videos. It's through you guys, the people that you have a connection with. And actually, a lot of advertisers, sure, they may be putting ads on videos, but advertisers love sponsoring streamers because most, like statistically, a viewer is going to stay in a stream for about 20 minutes. That's roughly the average time that people are in there. And having your logo, having your company in front of someone's face for 20 minutes is such a big plus, as opposed to videos that are a bit more general audience, maybe not as connected to the creator. So that's why having a more niche audience is gonna do you wonders as opposed to a general audience. But it's gonna be different. General audience works way better when it's really, really big. For example, should I open it or keep it sealed guy, you know? Deep Pocket Monster, he has a really big general audience. That's gonna do him much more than a niche audience would, wouldn't it? Stream builds an excellent idea to keep on track. I might use that. Yeah, it doesn't have to stream to grow. You can also use streaming as a means to keep your builds on track. I dream to be a Gunpla figure reviewer like Libya and Dashu. Just very clear video on point reviews, no voiceover, just text. You can. You could try it out right now actually, but then you start to realize, dang, these videos actually take a while to make, and that's like a different hobby to get into as well. Yes, I've been looking for someone to give me feedback, which I lacked. For people who are looking for feedback, you can DM me it if you're shy about it, but you can also send your channel and ask for feedback through the content creator discussion channel. I think CC discussion channel. My appeal is gonna be watching someone who has no idea about making Gunpla or Gundam, but is major nerd and wants to learn. Yeah! That's me! That was me! And I had so much fun watching my friend build their model kit for the first time, and I didn't know why. It's because you were there once. There's a very strong sense of, I was there once. I want to see them grow up to be the builder that he can be. You'll see through it. Thanks for sticking with Gunpla, and thank you to you guys for helping me out with it. Like seriously, I feel so bad because a lot of my friends were who wants the best for me. They're wondering why. They're like, why is Jueri canceling her Gunpla stream, or why is Jueri like unsure about it, even though numbers are well? And it's just simply because it's a money sink, and I just wasn't monetized or monetize all that much. Now we're okay. We're in a very clear way, a clear time to be a Gunpla creator. I should do more videos, honestly. Hey John, welcome, welcome. Imagine stream reviewing people's channel and content. I wanted to do that. Originally this stream was supposed to be channel reviews, but the problem was that I was too shy to ask people for their channel. I really should. Maybe next time. I think it'd be fun. I'm just worried that a lot of the advice and feedback I give is gonna be the same across the board, but maybe we'll see. We shall see. my hope is to do a retrospective on the Gundam Versus game. It is niche, but I want to get the word out and clear up information. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I think if you talk about it though, in my opinion, you should try to make sure you appeal to people who are in Gundam general, like general Gundam franchise. I rarely go out my ways to see something like the games unless somehow they make it so like it has some sort of stake for me in it too. Konnichiwa. Hello, Mendoza. Embrace the plastic money sink? Yo, you know how? This is so off topic now. Remember how yesterday I said, man, you guys, I don't know if I want to make content on the Gundam TCG because that's a lot of money sink alongside plastic as well. And you guys were like, yeah, we can send you stuff. I'm like, no, don't send me stuff. Today, through a series of coincidences, I managed to secure funds for it, I guess. So we'll see how far I'll go with it. Even depending on how the videos perform. I eventually do cosplay panel conventions for inspiring. Oh, that's so fun. I want to cosplay too. I don't have fun for it. It's just so much stuff that requires fun in the hobby. Here, where to go for feedback? You go to... Let me go grab that for you. Let me see. It's in content creation. That's just the channel. You can ask and they'll probably lead you to the way there. Actually, I'll just send the channel name right here. I know there's a lot of channels in there now. There you go. This is fun stream, by the way. I didn't know a lot of stuff about those celebrities. I think it's so fascinating because I often thought as a kid, like, man, how do you get up in front of 1,000 people, maybe 500,000 people, and just perform, right? And that's just how it is. They're just as human as us, you know. They have fears, anxiety when it comes to performance, but they kind of push it because they have this alter ego that they step into. Once they're on stage, they're just completely different, right? I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to try new things like that. To be on stage and do new things too. Maybe one day. One day. Alright. I will wrap up stream here. It's getting super hot, so I turn on the AC. But I don't want you guys to hear the hums and stuff as I speak. So I haven't not turned it on this entire time. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking through the stream, giving me your feedback as well, answering the question, asking questions, and giving your own insight too as a viewer. Honestly, even if you're not a creator, the insight of a viewer is so important as well. That's why I like hearing what you guys have to say too. And also, let's see it here. Thank you to Sunny and Alikun for sending supas to the stream. I appreciate it a lot. If I missed it, I'm so sorry. I don't think I missed any of it though, but I look like we got all of it. Thank you for stream, Juju. Hey, thank you for stopping by. Alright, I'm gonna head out now. Have a good one, you guys. And tomorrow, I will be streaming Gunpla. Shocker. I also be at the Gundam TCG event too, so I will try to be home on time. See you tomorrow at 6:30 PM EST, 3:30 PM PST, 11:30 PM GMT, and 7:30 AM JP Australia time. Bye bye. Bye.